Oh, man.
I don't know about
Happy New Year.
the energy level of the countdown to the new year.
You know what, man?
We here.
I'm fired up right now, though.
Kool-Aid, you're always fired up.
No, it's a little bit of reversal this morning on the desk. I like it.
Happy 2026.
Let's rock.
What a year.
Good.
What a year in Detroit sports, Kool-Aid.
What a year. Oh, my gosh. The highs, the lows, the ups, the downs. The expectations were high for a lot of our teams.
The stories that popped up mid-season, thinking a little Thanksgiving. Sharon Moore.
Oh, goodness gracious.
The emergence of the Pistons.
Shout out to those Detroit Pistons.
I know,
Going
dude,
into the new year with 2 teams in first place.
That's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
I feel like we can almost jump right in, but I'm happy to be here, Brandon, Detroit Kool-Aid Dent, with you, with Justin Satawa in the TD booth. We're here. Us three are here today, January 1st, 2026, to just review 2025, the year that was in Detroit sports. The 4 major ones. Michigan State, Western Michigan Broncos. They won a natty championship in 2025.
Yes,
Oakland University.
Maybe the chat has some of their favorite moments from Woodward sports, too, that they'd like to share.
I hope so. Like
That would be dope. We could reminisce.
So Kool-Aid Justin, I think we should pull the curtain back a little bit to everyone here watching us live in the YouTube chat, here watching Woodward Sports on January 1st. This idea of doing a year in review, I want to say the idea is less than 48 hours old. So with that, we got a crew that thinks we got our grasp on everything that happened in 2025, but there's no way we're not going to get through the show without forgetting something, without missing something in chat. That's where we need you. So all show long, provide your favorite moments, your least favorite moments. We're going to have some polls going up. We're going to have awards to give away for the Detroit sports athletes and GMs and coaches. We're going to try to cover it all. We're here about 3 hours. The goal is to make it to 3. We got callers in. We're planning every
Super chats help, too.
15 to 20 minutes. Yeah. Hit your super chat. Get your super chats in. We'll read them off, no doubt. Really, anything you want. We need your help. I see you, Tabitha. Happy New Year. Mike Reed in the chat. Gromit. I see you, Anson Wells. One of the newcomers of the year. I'll just throw Anson Wells into that mix already.
Anson Wells. Shout out to Anson Wells, man. You know what? I hear he's a lover of all things Go Blue. Shout out to that man.
Yeah, go blue. Go blue. Actually, but before we start with how 2025 ended in a miraculous way. Shout out Miami Hurricanes. Shout out Dante151 in the chat. One of our loyal day one subscribers, followers, listeners, chat members. It's his birthday today. Dante, happy birthday, man.
Shout out to Dante15. I wish we had super chats we could give him, man. All the
Seriously.
support he's given to Woodward Sports over the years, among a lot of you all, it's like shout out for real. Happy birthday. I feel like we got to sing the happy birthday song to him, but which verse?
You don't want to hear me. I can't sing.
Happy birthday.
I know.
Hey.
No. Happy birthday. I know you got a voice.
Everybody? Just me. Hey, you know what? Happy birthday, Dante.
That's the extent of me singing live on air. I ain't say that, Kool-Aid.
Do harmony next time.
Remember Fifth Harmony? Shout out to Diddy. They were reemerged with the Diddy documentary.
No shout out.
That was a big moment in 2025. Just not Detroit.
You know, I want all the big moments. Like, obviously, our focus is Detroit sports, but there was a lot of things that we covered, a lot of laughs that we've had over the year, not just amongst, like, our contingent, but amongst all 4 shows. You got Woodward Wings, Woodward Pistons, you got Woodward Ringside, a lot of different content that went on and a lot of things that were covered this year. So it's like, we want to cover it all.
Yes.
Let's remember it all. Let's have some fun.
Let's do it. I ain't say that in the chat. 2 different super chats, by the way. We'll start with a $2 super chat. Thank you, man. Says, let's go. Another great year of Detroit sports. It really was. Maybe, like, the teams didn't all finish how we wanted them to, expected them to. I had fun. I had fun. And I'm ready for 2026. I ain't say that. Kool-Aid follows up for $5. Says that 18-inning game was just epic. And we stayed up till like 4 or whatever. That one was fun to be a part of.
That was fun to be a part of, man.
Top memory.
That was fun.
Top memory. We do have, actually, to lead into our first guest, because we're going to have hosts calling in all show long.
Shout out to Sports.
Caseville Country Boy. This is nostalgic. This makes me feel like I'm watching the episode of the morning show last year. Shout out Wake Up Woodward.
Shout out.
Shout out Jordan D, 23. Broder and Kool back together. Still haven't gotten my merch. Come on. We owe the man merch, and he hasn't gotten in 2025.
Hey.
I'm putting that in the top of my notes.
Let's do that. Let's email Trav again.
Yup. That is Jordan D, 23. Merch. Jordan, I'll hit you up. We'll figure out how to get you taken care of. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. Shout out to you. But one of the...
We'll do better in 2026.
We will. One of the newcomers of the year, although I guess it started in 2024. After Wake Up Woodward, the man by the name of Sean Baligian.
Shout out to Sean Baligian.
Picked up Legend. That 8 a.m. mic, added Mr. Thomas Mazaway, KG, JB. I know Justin's been on the show a ton with them. They had a really great 2025 and only big things to come in 2026.
A great cast. And you know what, man? Shout out to Sean Baligian as well, who stepped into I don't even want to call it a volatile time slot, but a time slot that, you know what, it's seen some good shows through the years. You know, there's some big shoes. I thought that there was kind of right in the time when they took over, it was just before Detroit Lions season, and they had to hit the ground running.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that show did brilliantly. The camera shots, the camera views, the energy, the zaniness, just the personality of Sean Baligian. And then you add in Thomas Mazaway. And you already know how I feel about that electric booth they have between JB Smooth, Woodward Sports MVP,
Legends,
and KG. Woodward Sports is a new MVP, man. So it's like that show, I thought it was perfect for what the people needed this year. And they brought a lot, man. You could look at the numbers. You could look at the engagement. You could look at the people who supported them. And trust me, Broder and I are ecstatic that you guys continue to support Woodward Sports Network, man. No matter the shows, we know it's great people here. So
well, let's welcome him in.
Yeah, we got him online, Justin. Let's do this. Sean Baligian, good morning. Happy New Year.
Hey, great to have you guys. And thanks for the kind words. And I'll tell you what, one of the cool things I did this year, seriously, that Sunday morning show that we did through the spring and the summer leading up to Lion season, and I knew you were there, Broder, and Kool-Aid, for people out there that don't know, just because you don't see him all the time doesn't mean that his presence isn't felt. One of the coolest things is when you come in, you know what? He doesn't shake your hand. He doesn't fist bump you. He gives you a hug. He gives you that hug to let you know that you're in. So shout out to Dante as well. I want to say happy birthday to Dante 151. Not only is he tremendous in the chat, but, man, the amount of content that he sends and on Twitter and whatnot is outstanding. He is one of the elite listeners of Woodward Sports, that's for sure.
He is. Sean, Happy New Year. What was one moment or a story or something that stood out to you in 2025?
You know, I think when we were, I can't help but think of some of those shows that you, Terry, and I did, you know, when the reality that Frank Ragnow wasn't coming back hit, and we didn't, you know, brush it over. I remember that day we were like, you don't replace Frank Ragnow. Now, in fairness, did any of us think that this season would turn out the way that it did? Nope. No, we didn't. But, like, literally that morning, and Broder, if you remember, and I'm not chastising anybody, people were killing us for it People were really mad at us that morning for sitting back and saying, you guys, you can't quantify this loss. This is huge. It's bigger than every one of us thinks. So, you know, that's something that jumps out. I remember doing a show with Neil in the spring when he started to use the words Tigers and World Series in the same sentence, and I had a meltdown. What do the kids call it? A crash out? I had a crash out. I was like, "Don't do it, Neil! Don't do it!" But no, you know what? A lot of fun, and as Justin was saying, it's pretty cool right now. Obviously, what the Pistons are doing, the Pistons have more breathing room in their division. What's going on right now with the Wings in the Atlantic Division is insane because you have Buffalo, who's red hot. You have Montreal, who's red hot. You have Tampa, who's red hot. And it seems like Detroit keeps winning, and they aren't picking up any ground. It's insane what's going on in the Atlantic Division right now. So it'll be fun, you know, watching what transpires the next few months.
Absolutely. You watched the game last night, the big 2-1 victory, continuing the tradition of the Red Wings on New Year's Eve.
I love it. It's a fantastic thing, and you know they started early enough where people can get out of there and go have a fun time. I'm sure Justin would tell you the same thing. There's no doubt in my mind he watched it. I haven't talked to him about it. You know what the sign of a good team is? They didn't play well for a good period of time in that game, okay? In particular, in the third period, I thought they were hanging on by a thread, and they won the game. I mean, that's where we're at with the Red Wings right now. Before you would see them, put out a tremendous effort and not get a point, and certainly not get the 2 points. Last night was not a great effort by any stretch of the imagination. I thought the third period they were thoroughly outplayed, and yet they held on and won the game. So a lot going right for the Red Wings right now.
Yeah, and you know what? We know how the last 2 seasons ended, Sean, but what do you see this year that tells you it's going to be a little bit different ending to the Red Wings season this year? We need playoffs in LCA.
No, I don't want to be a stick in the mud. I'm going to keep saying it. I think the million-dollar question is the goaltending sustainable? I don't know the answer for that. I mean, that right now you're getting 2 guys that are playing over their head. You hope it sticks around and everything. The biggest difference to me, and we've talked about it 100 times, is you're watching Steve Yzerman put some faith in some young guys. And it'd be one thing if you had some ups and downs with some veterans and everything, but you're watching young players come in and you're watching them have some good moments. And it doesn't mean that every one of them are going to go like that and turn into that which we always dreamed of. But you're watching guys come in and contribute, and it's fun. There's a lot more metal in this team. There's a lot more fight in this team.
Yeah.
Is it a playoff-type style? Well, I can understand if somebody wants to have a question like that, the playoff caliber hockey type of play. But I guess it'd be great to find out come April, right? It's been so long. It's a franchise record for, playoff-less streak and everything. So let's find out in April if their style and tenacity can make a little noise come playoff time.
And that's where I'm interested to see, because you saw in Carolina, they got kind of out physical the entire game. You saw him put Mo Sider over the wall, and that's something that was pretty pedestrian to the season because he's been kind of the, big enforcer that we've been looking for over these last couple of years. So hey, I'm excited to see Sean, and we're gonna come down to the wire with the Habs, and we're still on to go to that game in March, the Habs Wings game. I'm excited about that, and hopefully the Wings will get it done. Sean will probably try to pinch my cheeks or some bullshit, but
he's so cute, little pinchy pinch. Sean, in the super chat, actually, I'm gonna end this with two questions for you. One from our guy, I ain't say that in the chat. And then one on my own. But I'm gonna task you with something, because our next call-in guest is Thomas Mazaway.
Hey.
Can you respond to these questions in your best Maz voice? So I ain't say that because it's a $2 super chat. It says, Sean, is it a pantless day already? And then I want to follow up and ask you, what's the first thing you're cooking, first thing you're smoking today on January 1st?
I'm telling you guys, the only thing I'm looking forward to is watching Caleb. I told you all, Caleb's the real deal, and this guy's going to be a Hall of Famer and win multiple Super Bowls. No, Maz is great. You know what? All jokes aside, don't tell him I said this. Maz is all of us. He really is. Mm-hmm. Because we have the emotional ups and downs, and we get like that as fans. Even, those of us in the business, okay? You try to, maintain that professional decorum or whatever. Maz is just a bundle of emotion, so it's been a lot of fun to tweak that a little bit, and certainly he tweaks me a lot of bit as well. I'm doing some ribs. You know what? Last night was, a plethora of things because we had a bunch of people over. So I'm doing some ribs today. I'm gonna have a rack on about 1:00 in the afternoon. But yeah, as soon as I'm done with you guys, the pants are coming off, to answer the question, and they're not coming back on. They're not, because I have my smoker in such a place where I can sneak outside with no pants on, and nobody's going to see that because nobody needs to see that. So, this is a pantless day. Man, I love January 1, especially with the playoff games going on. So it's a blast. But Happy New Year to everybody out there.
Who you got in this game, Sean?
You know what? I'm going to go with Oregon. I am. I don't feel real good about it. I don't. I'm not going to lie. I don't feel real good about any of these games, to be honest with you. And I think that's part of the beauty of right now, but I'm going to go with Oregon. What about you?
I like the Red Raiders.
Seriously, I do. I hope you're right. I do. I think it'd be fun to see. Like last night was fun to see. I think we were all waiting for Mario Cristobal to go Mario Cristobal, and it didn't happen. And obviously, the Michigan fans out there, anytime Ohio State loses, that's a fantastic thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pulling for Ole Miss something fierce, though. I really am. I'm pulling for them something fierce. Wouldn't that be something? I like Lacey. Obviously, Trinidad is something else. I think that'll be fun later on.
Awesome. Sean, on your way out, I got to read this. It's a super chat. And Rando Smells, I'm going to get to you just after this, but this one's directly for Sean. And anyone watching at home with kids around, or if you're at work and the volume's up, maybe put the earmuffs on for a minute. Mike Reed, 9876, $5 super chat. Son says, Sean, give the middle finger to the camera and say FTB for us. Give us your Brian Branch impression.
Fuck them forever. I hate the Bears. I fucking hate the Bears. Fuck them forever. They're gonna get exposed early in the playoff, and then they're gonna get exposed next year. I mean, listen, big step. Props to them. There's no doubt about it. This team has been so damn lucky this year, and reality is gonna set in real soon.
Sean, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, brother.
Excited for 2026 with you. All right, Kool-Aid. Oh, there he is. Thank you, Sean.
I was just going to ask you, Sean, one more real quick. What is the number one thing you are looking forward to in 2026?
Wow. From a sporting standpoint?
Sports.
You know what? I honestly, I'd like to see the Pistons take the long run that I think they can. I don't think the Wings, no offense, Justin, I don't think the Wings are in that position yet to take that long run. I think the Pistons are in the position to take that long run. And let's see how far it goes. I mean, to me, am I a slappy for saying, let's get to the Eastern Conference Finals and see what happens from there? I don't think I am. So I think I'm looking forward to that.
Let's go.
Pistons 2026, baby. I know it gets you fired up. We're going to talk a lot about the Pistons. What a cool moment to talk to Sean, one of our newcomers of the year here in 2025, although he's been around for a while. He got his own show now. He and Maz took off.
Him and Joy had one in the beginning of Woodward Sports. And some fill-in work over the years, but it was amazing, as his, career outside of Woodward Sports kind of went to new places, they continued to support him. I think that's the awesome part about it. And when he was ready, it was ready for him.
Yeah. Before we get Maz on here, Kool-Aid and Justin, in the next 3-4 minutes, let's roll through the year real quick with just some high-level moments, because do you guys remember how 2025 started? And it wasn't the Commanders game. Yeah. It was Week 18 against the Minnesota Vikings.
Say a high note.
January 5th for the NFC Conference, for the NFC North Division. The Lions put BTA to the Minnesota Vikings in Week 18 to get that number one seed. That was on January 5th. Actually, one of my best memories of the year. I was on a cruise with my family celebrating my dad's birthday, my parents' anniversary. So we're watching the Lions whoop that ass in the middle of the ocean. It was a great beginning to the year, but it was only 2 weeks later we saw them fall apart against the Washington Commanders. The turn there, Kool-Aid, it hurt, right? It hurt.
Yeah, that one, it was just the high of seeing our team go in back-to-back years and lock down NFC North, lock down the number one seed, lock down what we thought was the perfect recipe for this team to win the Super Bowl. And to this day, I'm going to still continue to say you want the number one seed. I know that people say, well, it probably made them a little rusty, but I think you want the number one seed in as much health as you can give yourself in as few games as possible to get there. And they just didn't get it done. It was tough to see injuries be the reason why they didn't get it done after seeing them overcome it at such a great rate all season. I think we expected, they're going to just get this done. They're going to overcome. And they had just lost a little bit too much. But we did get that high of the NFC North Division up against the Vikings team that we didn't think was going to challenge us to that tune.
Yeah.
But they still got it done, at least in the regular season. But
you got to think that the Commanders game aside, that season, because they dealt with injuries all season since Hutch got hurt, kind of gave what we realize now, at least for me, is false hope going into this year that, all right, they're not only healthy starting the year, they lost Ragnow, they lost a couple players, but because of how they looked with Kyle Pecco and Benito Jones and not the Legion of whom, but the whatever the nickname is for the LinkedIn defensive line. You're picking guys off Indeed.com, something like that. You're signing guys. Jamal Adams, remember him for signed on a Monday,
made it
playing
work.
on Thursday or something.
But you know what I think it did? I think it shows the importance of one of our big players in Kirby Joseph, as well as a philosophy. They had turnover makers last year, and this year, between injuries or either not bringing back a Carlton Davis, they lost that superpower.
Yeah.
And Dan Campbell said that this was a big part of their identity. In 2026, I'm hoping a part of their identity. I know we want that offensive line, number one, but number two, get back to creating those turnovers, creating havoc out there, and just making it overall difficult on those opponents when they get into the 20s.
Yeah.
I feel like they just lost just a little bit of that, but
Yeah.
I'm not like all the way lost on the Lions, though. I know that it's a disappointing season.
Yeah.
But this is still Dan Campbell. This is still the same guys who got us there the previous couple seasons. Hopefully with some tweaks in offseason by Brad, we got a 2026 that meets more of the expectations.
We've seen them face adversity like at various parts throughout seasons, but not this type of adversity where it's going into the offseason. They got to do a lot to retool the offensive line, the defensive secondary. They got a lot to figure out. By the way, as a reminder, this is a 2025 year-in review show. I know there's been some breaking news on the Michigan front, and I know about their defensive coordinator. I'm live. I can't see I can't do any research right now.
New staff right now, so I think OC and DC. Is
That's what
be
Dillingham.
Brand new with Kyle.
It was their OC out in Utah is now their OC at the University of Michigan. Sounds like there's defensive coordinator news. All I know is that's 2026 news. So until I get a text from one of our boys in the Woodward Sports group chat or girls, just confirming this is all right. I'm not breaking that on air. We're on thin ice, us Michigan fans, us Michigan athletes. I can't just throw news out there like that. We got Maz coming in shortly. Start the year with the Minnesota Vikings win, end the year with the crushing Minnesota Vikings loss on Christmas Day. Throughout the year in April, some of the other teams throughout the state, Western Michigan hockey. You know, he's coming back into the room right now.
Yeah, he is. And it's confirmed. BYU's, this is via Anthony Broom. Another key staffer is in place for Kyle Whittingham.
Just got confirmed.
With the news that BYU's Jay Hill is joining the program as defensive coordinator, and 3 more offensive staffers are set to join Kyle Whittingham and Jason Beck with the University of Michigan football program. I like that news, actually. I had to go confirm it. I saw it.
So it was just BYU's DC? Is that the only one that was confirmed so far?
Yep.
All right, that one I was pretty sure it was going to happen.
And I think Jason Beck, the OC from Utah, is now the OC at Michigan.
Yep, all right, and that was
along
also
with a couple other
I like him.
Let them cook.
Let him cook.
Put yourself on camera real quick, Justin.
Let them cook. Let them cook.
One of the awards I want to give, because we're going to revisit Michigan and this news here shortly, because
Maz is on the line, by the way.
that's what we're going to get to right now. We got stories of the year or villains. We might be talking about Sharon Moore and Michigan sports later in the show, but we got Mazaway online. Calling from Jersey?
Maz in Jersey, so we get the full authentic experience.
I hope he just had a slice of za for breakfast, a little pizza pie. Maz, you out there?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good. There he is!
What's up, fellas?
What up, though, Maz? Man, good to see you. Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year, fellas. How was last night for you? Did you guys stay in? Did you go out? What do you feel like doing on New Year's Eve? I just, personally, if it was my choice, I would just stay home and chill, but it's never my choice. So we had a nice time anyway.
Hey, you know what? I thought we were going to have to get out and about, Maz, but wifey actually was like, you know what? Let's go out and get some things, and let's have a night in. And we had a good night in for New Year's.
That's awesome.
Usually
That's
we go
awesome,
out.
fellas.
This year, it felt more like the dream that you just described.
Hey, Michigan played a good first half, right? Second half, not so much. But I know we always laugh, and Neil loves his generational talent on Arch Manning. But I'll tell you right. I'm telling you, Arch Manning's going to be the goods. He is. He is.
He was balling in that second half.
He's got a little bit of that moxie, a little bit just that natural feel for the quarterback position where it's like if he keeps developing under the right coaching, the right tutelage, he could be good. He could be really good. The sky's the limit for him. But, Maz, what about the game after that? Because how good does it feel to have the U back in college football again? The U beating OSU.
I love it because I love seeing Michael Irvin.
Hey.
I love seeing Michael Irvin and doing all his coke on the sidelines and running up and down and having a great time. He should just be the mascot of the U, man. That was a hell of a game. I didn't think they had a chance. I was wrong. I mean, Nick Saban a couple
I had him
weeks
on the
ago
spread,
says,
baby. Come on.
Hey, Nick Saban called it. I give him hats off to Nick Saban. He said if Miami gets in, they got enough talent to shock a lot of teams.
He did.
And
He
they
did
did.
say that.
And guess what? The championship game is in Miami, right?
Yep.
They could stay home.
The revival of the 7th floor
That was
crew.
fire, man. You know what? I love to see how fired up they were on the side. Bro, when he pulled off that belt and started whipping the cooler, I was like, yo, Miami got something here because you talking about this new era of NIL. You talking about this new era of recruiting. I think Miami, they made a big pitch last night to a lot of recruits out there that they are trying to be a big boy program now.
And when you got guys like Michael Irvin, Ray Lewis, and he wasn't involved last night, Greg Olson, like
Danger.
they Maz. That's the type of stuff that you look for in college football. But Maz is also a pro sports fan across all the sports. But I got to ask him about our Lions. In a different way, Maz. In a different way, because there's a real possibility that we see in the NFC Championship game Ben Johnson versus Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, it could happen, man.
What do we say to that? What do we do?
Well, I know the joke around Woodward Sports and all the chat is Maz is a Bears fan. And I've never been a Bears fan. Never rooted for them. I rooted for the Patriots and when they played Super Bowl 20. They got blown out. I'm just not a fan of the Chicago Bears. But I don't know. There's something about this team that I started liking. I hated, and I mean hated, Ben Johnson for leaving. And I didn't want to see. And then I hated his post-game speeches. It just reminded me, everything he did, he took from Allen Park.
Mm-hmm.
He took from Ford Field. And you know what? I fell in love with this particular Bears team because it reminds me of us 2 years ago. I'm just saying, it reminds me of the Lions from 2 years ago. And I'm a sports fan.
Yeah.
I love seeing good stories. And who else am I going to root for in this? I'll root for the Bills because they never win. But I don't think they could win the whole damn thing. I really don't. I don't know if the Bears could win the whole damn thing, but I think the Bears can go to the NFC Championship game. I do.
Wow.
49ers. The 49ers have been very impressive. Very impressive. And the Rams seem to be maybe losing a step. Devontae Adams is hurt. They're not the same team. They could be beat now. And I think it's the Bears, and I think it's the 49ers in the NFC.
Wow. Bears 49ers in the NFC.
So he's not going with Stafford. No Stafford love for him in this one.
No, hey.
Wow,
No,
that's surprising.
I love Stafford. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not a Sean McVay guy. Never was. I think he's a little prick. Not a big fan of his. But I wouldn't have bet against the Rams until the last 2 weeks. When I seen them the last 2 weeks, they have
fair.
Flaws.
They do.
They have flaws.
Right now, the Bears' offensive line's playing maybe
Great.
the best football in the NFL. That can carry them. That can carry them. But we got D-Mac coming on in 7 minutes, so we're going to talk Red Wings after this. But, Maz, you're one of my favorite guys to talk baseball with. And Scott Harris has some big decisions coming, like, right now. Like, for the future that he's got to make right now. Tarek Skubal is that guy. What do you think Scott Harris is going to do? Not what should he do. What do you think he's going to do with Tarek Skubal in 2026?
He holds them. They play baseball April, May, and June. They see where they're at in the standings. They see how the team is. If the team is going good like they were last year at that point, I think he rides them to the end. And then maybe there's a strike in baseball. There probably will be. And maybe, just maybe, they might get lucky enough that there's some type of salary cap put in to the game that might save the bacon. And who knows? We might be able to get a deal done with Skubal. I think you keep him. If the team is going good in June, you ride him to the end. If not, you make a deal at the trade deadline and send him out. But otherwise, I'm riding him. I'm riding him all the way. You won 2 playoff series in 2 years, and you came up short, just a little short, in the second round both years. Look at last year's game. You know, it was a phenomenal game against the Mariners. Anyone could have won that game. And I know he comes out after 6 innings, and we all get pissed off. But you know what? He's only going to get better. He is peaking, Matt, and no one knows that more than you. You're a baseball guy. And I think you got to hold the guy and see how the team reacts through the first 3 months of the season.
Love it.
Give me as much Scooble as I can. Well, wait, let me not.
You got it.
That, but yeah.
Yeah. You got to. Maz, what a pleasure having you on. Enjoyed watching you on the 8 a.m. slot all year.
Yeah.
Any last words? I
do got one for him.
Oh, let it go.
No, I was going to ask Maz, what is your gut telling you then about these 2026 Detroit Tigers? What's going down?
They're going to make a run like last year. They're going to win 2 series this time. And who knows?
Okay.
It all depends on how the chips fall. But if I gave you 29 teams right now, or I gave you the Dodgers, who are you taking?
The Dodgers.
Yeah.
So, hey!
You taking the field, or are you taking the Dodgers? I hate them. I despise them. But how you beating that team? How?
No comment.
No comment.
I can tell you it's not the Tigers' offense that's going to beat that team.
Golly.
No. You know, it's just
no
not
one's
going to
offense
happen.
will beat that team.
Exactly.
I think the Red Sox, I hate it. I think the Red Sox will play the Dodgers. My least, talk about hate World Series. I think that's the World Series.
Don't get yourself too worked up. It's only January 1.
I know, it's a new year. It's only January 1. It's right. Hey, go Pistons.
Go Pistons, man. Fired up.
Woo!
I
love beating LeBron. Holy shit. I love beating LeBron. Oh, God.
What a way to
God,
start
is
your
he
new
a
year,
piece
huh?
of crap. Oh.
I love it, man. Seeing Maz down at LCA and such. I know last time we were down there together, we got some content in as well. The legend Tom Masway and Stope. Every time I go down looking for where I'm at on the seat in LCA for that night, it's always cool seeing our brother and the legend Tom Masway has been doing this for a long time.
Despite the shit that he gets from people on this network or on social media or whatever, you cannot argue Tom Masway is, if not the number 1 fan, a top 5 Detroit sports fan in this entire city, in this entire state.
Oh, yeah.
We love Maz.
I still remember we were out there doing the bell ringing. For what was it? The
Salvation Army?
Yeah, I remember that. And we were at the Hollywood Market, right out in like Birmingham area. How come all of these ladies knew exactly who Tom Masway were? We're from Woodward. They're like, yeah, we're Tom. I'm like, oh, goodness, it's like that.
It's that father figure.
Shout out to Tom Masway.
Yeah, dad bods used to get a bad vibe. It's a father figure. Everyone loves Maz.
Everybody loves Maz.
Maz, if you're still there, we want to wish you a happy 2026. Hope you had a fun time last night with your family. We're excited to see you Monday, right? Shows are back on Monday. Maz is back on Monday.
No, they're back
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Shows are back.
Yeah,
I think
Brandon
Maz
will
is
be
back
back.
on Monday.
Yeah, but shout out to our guy, Brandon Edwards. He will be back. He took a nice little break for the holiday, and we look forward to having our captain of the Brandon Edwards show back with us starting Friday.
Yes. Is Justin, is Maz still on, or did we say?
No, he is not on anymore.
Love you, Maz.
Love you, Maz.
Happy New Year's. I got to hit Rando Smalls before we get to DMAC and before we get to our next topics because we're rolling. We are rolling. Rando Smalls, $5 super chat says, how are a few of us had faith in the Tigers for the last 2 years when experts didn't feel it? We did. Rando Smalls, I know you were one of those guys. You saw something that many others didn't. Rando Smalls follows up later. I asked this yesterday. Who you got, Archie or Blair? One, both, or neither? A little quarterback conversation? To be determined. Let's have that conversation throughout the show because D-Mac's coming up, and even if he's not on,
Arch was nice yesterday in that second half, man. In the wiggle, as T-Foss calls it, the white boy wiggle. Mm-hmm. It was a lot more than white boy wiggle. Mm-hmm. That was just full-on jiggle, unstoppable jiggle motion.
A little bit of Brock Purdy that we saw in the game a few days ago, a little bit of old Aaron Rodgers.
A lot more.
Not saying he's Aaron Rodgers, but
no.
That wiggle. It's that wiggle
It's
in the
wiggle
pocket.
mixed with better than average passing ability.
Yeah.
Way better than average.
Yeah.
He looked good. I don't even want to say that. But
Is the wiggle effective without the better than average passing ability? Do you have to hit the receivers in the pocket before you worry about mobile athletic quarterbacks? To be determined. Who knows? Because we have a 4-time Stanley Cup champion waiting to talk to us. Yeah, he really isn't waiting to talk to us. He's waiting to wish all of the members of our chat family and our Woodward Sports family, which is at 99.3 thousand subscribers right now.
I mean, if he played with a guy they called the perfect human, but here at Woodward, I think Darren McCarty is our perfect human.
He is the minister of accountability, our director of HR, and just a really great dude. Darren McCarty, Happy New Year's, Happy 2026.
Let's go, boys. Happy New Year, obviously. I'm joining because you two are doing the show. Yeah, that's the only reason I'm doing it is because Broder and Kool-Aid are two of the hardest working guys behind the scenes that we don't get to see a lot. But you mentioned 19,300, 700 short of 100,000.
Wow.
You guys should take a lot of pride in that. And so that's what, to me, 2025, and this goes to all the viewers out there and all the supporters and the Randall Smalls and the Mike G's and the people that show up every day for us. It's coming to fruition what Woodward Sports has always been to me and what it's all about. It's about the people. Right, it's about the people, and the sports continues to follow. But you guys continue to prove that. I couldn't be prouder to be a part of it with you guys. So, Happy New Year!
Like yesterday, I still remember the first interaction with Darren McCarty on the Woodward Sports side of things, and walked in. They were at the Del Mar in Detroit. It was in Detroit, in Greektown. They were doing their first NFL draft show. And that was an invitation. They brought me out, and he introduced himself. I'm like, yo, I'm telling Queen Kool-Aid. I'm like, that's Mac.
Yeah.
That's D-Mac. And he introduced himself. Hi, I'm Darren McCarty. I'm like, I know exactly who you are. You're D-Mac. He's like, I'm Darren McCarty. Like, I want to get to know who you are. And he was like, look, we're coworkers. Let's crush this thing. That was 5 years ago.
That's genuine, too.
That's genuine.
It's not normal. And the benefit, like, we've had D-Mac on this network since the beginning, helped grow it to what it is today when the Red Wings weren't doing so well. Now, D-Mac, it feels like Hockeytown has a pulse. Hockeytown, it's not just survival hockey anymore. They got that product out on the ice that not just the diehard Red Wings fans can enjoy and appreciate, but those non-diehard Red Wings fans that are okay, we sense something in Detroit right now. Big win last night, D-Mac, but what does Todd McClellan and Stevie Y have brewing here in Detroit with the Red Wings?
Well, I mean, it's if you want to criticize, as a lot of people have, because of the speed of the rebirth or anything else, and they want to blame Steve Yzerman. I think that he's told us all along that it's patience, but we're seeing what can be, right? Like, it's not the end all be all. And do I think this team's a Stanley Cup team? No. But I see youth and I see the speed, and in order to bring in and as you say, like the casual fan or whatever else, where heads turn towards the ice rink, it's the fact they have to be entertaining, and they are entertaining. They can play with anybody in the league, obviously, every night, and going into Christmas, nothing to be shake your head at that you're in first place in the Eastern Conference. It's still, you're still fighting to crack that playoff bubble, right? That's what we have to do. But I think in the whole scheme of things, the great thing is there's an absolute heartbeat and a pulse going at LCA. There will be playoff hockey and playoff basketball this year. And I think that really energizes the city. Right. We can say how the Lions and the Tigers and the energy has got us there, but now it's time, because what I like about what's going on at LCA with the Pistons and the Red Wings, it's cultural, and it's something that they're going to be able to repeat and repeat. Stuff with the Tigers, we got to see, because it's roster and we're all in the same way, but they've given us some great opportunity to go down to the ballpark and cheer and get behind them and feel that baseball again. I think we all live and die the Lions stuff. So to me, I'm a big believer that you got to learn how to lose to win. So that's sort of frustrating, but it's changing. This Detroit Tigers, this Detroit Red Wings team, they're for real. Does it mean championships? I don't think yet. Although the Pistons, man, they just keep doing it, and it doesn't matter where it is. And what I like about both these teams that we're talking about, whether it's the Tigers and the Pistons, it's the fact that I look in these locker rooms and what they respond out is these guys like each other.
Yeah.
Right. It's the same way as we
like
talk. Same way as we talk about about being a Dan Campbell guy, about grit, and we're gonna find out a lot on Sunday. Don't think this is a meaningless game as far as because you can't make the playoffs. This means everything going forward. So there's a lot of pride on the line, and especially because they're going up against Ben Johnson, and he's the girlfriend that sort of got away or moved on to bigger and better things. But you always like to put one on them. So I think for me though, right, and this will sound weird, but going into 2026, the thing I'm most looking forward to is finally the college football programs in this state seem like they have adults in charge of their football programs. So doesn't mean win or loss. I mean, I like them both, but I think that both Pat Fitzgerald and Whittingham are gonna help with the culture. So it's starting to look like you're looking behind every whether it's college or pro team behind their bench and who's running some things, and you can be satisfied with it. So it was a weird year. Broder, I got to tell you this because I wanted my highlight of the 2025 would have to be the World Series.
Yeah, dude.
And especially Game 7. And dude, you saw me do it, man. Yamamoto, like you got Shohei Ohtani, yeah, all this, but Yamamoto, man, is hentai Japanese porn. Like, I mean, that dude and what he did, and I do my spending thing right here about Roblox and GT6, and we don't mean anything by it all. And when you have Spencer on, make sure he does.
Next.
That's what I mean. So make sure he does that for me, because I don't know what the spiel is, but tell him to get the spiel out of the way so we're all safe.
Out
Yeah,
on Roblox,
all that stuff.
No sexual gratification.
None. Zero. None of that. But
comedic and parody state of content.
thank you.
That.
Sounds spinny.
That.
Yeah. No. So I mean, are we sitting here January 1st with the way? No, I thought we'd be, in the playoffs getting ready for, as far as Lions and dialed in with that. So that's taken a little bit of something off this holiday season into the new year. But I think that what the Pistons and what the Red Wings are doing is sort of making up for it.
Hey, that LCA double dip would be awesome, and I like the fact that Mac didn't say it would be cool if it happened. He said it is happening.
It's happening.
2 teams in the playoffs this year with hope and expectation. That's what I like about what the Pistons and the Red Wings represent right now, is that both of those teams have things you can actually believe in for the future. Even though the Pistons made the playoffs 2 times prior in LCA, it wasn't much to – well, last year is much to believe in. The first time, not so much. And then the second time they made the playoffs with Andre Drummond, not much to believe in. Right now, though, out of everything we've been hearing throughout the years of the Iser plan, believe in it, trust in it, all the years that we heard about the restore and this young core with the Pistons, I am so grateful for 2026, in which, as D-Mac said, both these teams about to run it. Let's rock, man.
It's
Get
all
in the
about
playoffs.
It's about the results next year. Like 2025 kind of defined to me like hope was enough for Detroit yesterday with all of our teams, but now the results are what you pay rent with. It's not about hope and expectations. Now they punch back in 2025. Speaking of D-Mac, 2026, it's all about results for all of the teams.
Yep, and program builders. This was our big question with Sharon Moore. This was obviously something that at the time we started covering Sharon Moore, we realized Tuck didn't have it either.
No.
In terms of being a program builder, now you look at Michigan State, you look at University of Michigan, both their football programs have guys that have established football programs in the past. They have guys that understand how to recruit. They have guys that understand how, and I think this is the most important aspect of it, how to manage and how to lead these young men.
Yes.
I think that is very, very important. Have them prepared for these games. You having them go out there putting their lives and their futures on the line, even with NIL money in the mix and all that, I want to know that you're prepared. We were worried about Ben Johnson potentially. What is he doing with this Bears interview? Meanwhile, Sharon Moore and Tuck, they were thinking about completely different things other than making sure their guys could be fully prepared, man. Golly, I hate it. What up, though, Justin? I see you over there.
Sorry, I'm rooting for Texas Tech.
I see you over there.
D-Mac, I wanted to ask you, though, before we let you go.
He was going crazy.
Because I truly believe that the best coaching job in all of Detroit this year has been by Todd McClellan. You're really seeing the effect on this team and how they're playing better systematically and in the corners. Is that too far-fetched to say with how good of a coaching job J.B. Bickerstaff has been doing? And I know Kool-Aid is probably going to have an answer for this after you as well.
We're going to debate
No,
it later.
you give Bickerstaff the nod, right? But it's also too he's had it and doing it in more time. I think Tom McClellan is taken from the same. They must talk, right? Their offices probably are next to each other at LCA, and because there's you need. What have the Pistons done well, right? Not only the development and the the Cade Cunningham was going to be Cade Cunningham, and we can see, and now he's elevating. So everybody, but the Jalen Durans and just the guys that they've added and the strength of their bench, right? So I think that JB gets it still because of consistency being in first with their record and stuff, but it's closer than you think. And I think the biggest thing is because you listen to Tom McClellan talk, Justin, where he, what's their record? 11-3-1 in December. And somebody asked him about their maturity. And he, to me, gave back the fact that this is real. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you see things, but it's not implemented. And we might think as fans that this is the way it is, the norm. And it's not. Sort of, maybe in our Lions fandom through this year, through injuries, and we can explain it, but it sort of fell apart. I think what you're seeing is both with the Pistons and especially with the Red Wings of coming together of what he's preaching and what he's told us since he's been there. But again, you have, we're watching the guys that we heard about. That's the the Danielsons and the Sam Pelicans and the Emmett Finneys and all these young guys are developing. I mean, and being impactful. Simon Edvidson, you saw what he did the other day, blocking a shot, questionable to come back in the game, then scores the overtime winner. So they're turning into hockey players. That's the best compliment I can give them.
I love it. We'll end with this. D-Mac, wish you a happy new year. Rando Smalls with a $2 super chat says, real men drop the gloves. Go Oak Island. D-Mac, happy new year. Thanks for joining today. And thanks for everything you do for us.
You got it, boys. Happy New Year to everybody. 2026. We take it over.
We're taking
Hit that
over.
like and subscribe button. Tell your friends. All right. See you guys next week.
See you, D-Mac. Right above Rando Small Super Chat, our fearless leader, Chad Johnson, made sure to correct us on a certain number because we were looking just at the rounded number on our screen on YouTube, but we've actually hit 99,403 subscribers.
That's 600 away.
Yeah, that's 597.
Let's go.
Away from 100K, which is a nice looking plaque. Rando Shabro 2295, just under that. I don't comment much, but I've been subscribed and watched from the beginning. It's been great to see the WSN growth. Great job, crew. Appreciate you, Rando. We appreciate you, Rando, and Randy Shabro. Yeah. Rando Smalls, Randy Shabro.
And when we do talk about the growth of Woodward Sports Network, we got to talk about some of the people like that dude, Justin.
Yeah.
Spimo Racks.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Easy. KG, among others. I know there's a lot of people here who, over the last year and a half, have really, 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 really done a hell of a job at taking this thing to the next level. Views, engagement, the shorts and the reels.
Yeah.
Even adding just different flares of personality to it, and it's been awesome to see that dude Justin just honestly step into the position that he's in now.
I remember Justin. It was the NFL Draft 2024, right, in Detroit.
He just showed up on the scene, doing everything behind the scenes that he could, man.
And then day 2 or day 3, we're supposed to do a stream here with a handful of people, and just Justin Anson and I show up. And so he's on the desk and just took everything by storm. He's been a huge part of the growth.
And I forgot Travis, too.
Oh, 100%.
Can't forget Travis as part of that social growth, man. Like, I'm proud. I am proud,
Travis
Justin.
is the GOAT, man.
Proud of y'all, man. Shout out to Travis, man. He's talking about sticking through it and getting better. And honestly, Woodward Sports it's great because of these people.
Yes.
It's because of the brotherhood that we have here and all the people that support like you guys out there, man. Smash that like button and share the stream when you guys get the opportunity.
Yeah, please. We're an hour in, got 2 hours to go. We got Spenmo coming on here next, and it's a perfect segue. You're talking about guys who really made as much of an impact as anyone here in terms of growing this thing. To hear his story about how he joined Woodward Sports, showing up at a Coney and asking for
Big
a job.
boy.
Spenny's one of those guys, but when we talk about
that story,
when we talk about hitting 100K, yeah, it's a number, and we get a plaque and all that. But like the origin stories of guys like Spenny and guys like Stick, Joey, Adam Baydoun, their idea to start this network and why they started it, partnering with Chad to really make Woodward Sports what it is, bringing in the Braylons, the Reiner Monis, the Darren McCartys, Joik, all the people. We're going to forget people. All the people that helped.
Devin Gardner, Dan Miller.
Dan Miller,
Sheesh.
Dr. Pierce.
We had Rod Beard for several years.
It's been great. Yeah. The people who have supported the growth of this network when we're doing something different. Like, yeah, it's a podcast, a street, whatever. We are doing something different. We're making Detroit sports and Detroit fans have a voice, not just the Stephen A's of the world, the Skip Baylesses. Neil explains it the best of anyone and sent some clips in our chat. But we are doing something different, and we are succeeding. And
tell them.
It's just the beginning.
And you know what I love this year? I have seen more of our chat family in the studio.
Yeah.
I've seen them making the effort to come out to visit and us having the ability to say, you know what? No, we trust him. We know him. We've had this relationship with him for a few years. J-Rod Sayers came and just visit the network, brought in a bunch of goodies, among other people. Randall Smalls has sent things. Phil has. Dante has. Devin the dog.
Devin the dog.
So it was cool to
Freddie
see.
Freddie
Felt, I can't forget about him, man. Hey, so it's awesome to see you guys be a part of this, and us not just here, but also out there. We've had the opportunity and the pleasure of hosting Freddie Felt here, but when we go out and we did the NFL draft, when we go out and we do games, we see the Freddie Felts there. We see a lot of the chat family members out there as well too. So this has been awesome, and to see 2025 go as well as it did, I can't wait to see what's in store for Woodward Sports in 2026. I hope, guys, chat family,
tell them,
do not let us get out of January without getting that 100,000. Don't let us get out of January. These dudes work. We all work too hard for this, man. The investment is too large. I'm sorry. This is the most fired up I've been. Like, to see where this thing has started, to know how much investment, to know all of the different people who've been through here to help. Guys, let's do something special.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We got Spenny on the line, Petoskey48442 in the chat. So this is a cool show, but what happened to D-Mac? D-Mac was on for a segment. We're doing a 2025 year in review. We're bringing all the hosts in for 5-10 minutes of chatting. Right now, we have one of the co-hosts of the Woodward Heavyweights, the TD of Big D Energy, a man who does just about everything here at the network, Mr. Spencer Spenmo Rackster.
Man of fitness.
Spen,
How you doing, boys?
Fitness.
How you doing? Happy New Year. Good to
Happy
see you.
New
Thanks
Year.
for having me on.
That's shirt.
Appreciate you. I got my Gay from A shirt on. Feeling good.
Hey, wait, no.
Actually,
What's that over your left shoulder, my brother?
This is my degree.
Let's go.
Shout out Pops. He got it framed for me for Charisma. So appreciate that. Had to hang it up. And before we talk about sports or anything like that, I actually wanted to show Broder some things that I got. Because I needed, like, I'm going to get eventually a whole thing behind me here, like a bookshelf or something to put stuff on. But I got a couple cards, and
Let's see.
I got them.
Are these purchases in 2025?
A PSA 9 Magic Johnson Michigan State card.
Wow.
Yeah, so that one's pretty sweet. I got a Topps Chrome Gem Mint 8 Carmelo Anthony rookie card.
I love mellow rookies. They don't get enough
love.
love.
I love this one because he's shooting over, I don't know who it is, but it's somebody on the Raptors. Fuck him. And then I have Gem Mint 10 holographic Sanji One Piece trading card because he's my favorite character in One Piece. So I just wanted to show you guys those.
I love that.
That's fire.
Spenny, Anson, JB, you, and Kid Kool-Aid, like, collecting has become a part of the network, but it's growing.
I like it. I like to see how just enthusiastic people are about it and the conversations that it brings about. Man. And you know that people really love this thing when it's less about the money and more about making sure that they can have a piece of that history. And I like that for somebody like Spin Dog, because it ain't nothing fake about who Spinny's been. I see Anson in the chat. He just said that that's Woodward Sports' MVP right there. Spin Mo Rex, man.
He's definitely a nominee.
Till today.
Clearly a nominee. Spenny, a lot happened in 2025 across the 4 major sports teams, as well as Michigan and your school, Michigan State. Any team you want to talk about right now? Anything that stood out to you that we can chat here for 5 minutes?
Well, I know you guys got Justin TDing, and I know you had D-Mac on, but I want to talk about these Red Wings, man.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Awesome to see what they did. Obviously, getting another win last night. You had the Michigan guy and the Michigan State guy both getting goals with Larkin and Appleton. And I want to talk about the Pistons too, but I wanted to start with the Red Wings just because what they've done this year is obviously it's awesome watching the Pistons be, the number 1 team in the East, stuff like that. But for guys like me and Justin that have been battling and in the streets fighting for Steve Yzerman and the Yzer plan, and Dylan Larkin's a 1C, and Mo Sider's a superstar, and battling these people for years because hockey is not the most well-known sport. Hockey is probably the least known out of the big 4, and it takes so much longer in hockey for these guys to develop, for these guys to even become NHL players, let alone superstars, that the patience was wearing thin. And I'm going to admit, for me even, I didn't want to go into another year being like, all right, just wait another year. Just wait, let these kids develop. But we've seen it actualize in front of us to where they said, all right, we're calling up the kids. You bring them all up there, and they've all been playing well, whether it's Danielson, ASP, MBN was playing well when he's here. Hopefully he comes back up again. Sebastian Kosa is dominating in the AHL. So it's good to see, and it's very gratifying that all of our battles with Sean and with Neil and with these guys about Mo Snyder being that dude and being a star, and for him to come out here and play like one of the best defensemen in the NHL, it's not only fun to watch, and it's good to see for a Red Wings fan. They're my second favorite team. It's Lions and Red Wings for me, it's just awesome. It's gratifying to see the Yzer plan kind of coming to fruition.
Man, it's been some years, but D-Mac has said for a long time to be patient. And, it's been awesome to see you and Justin man Woodward Wings. That's another reason to subscribe. It's awesome to see the reception you guys are getting from the people as well. But as it relates to the Red Wings, what's that gut feeling telling you, man? This thing, is it finally coming to fruition? We're getting those 2 playoff series in LCA this year?
We have scrapped and clawed Spenny from the depths. Those comment sections of Dylan Larkin 2Cs are over.
I see y'all comments be jumping.
We're in the glory days now, brother.
It's true. It really is what it feels like. That it feels very gratifying. And then on the other side of it, the Pistons, man, I love the Lions. I love football. Obviously, football is my favorite sport, but the Red Wings and the Pistons have always meant more to me because I saw them win championships and I experienced that, and I was at the parades and I was different things like that. So having the Pistons back to not only the best team in the East, but doing it the way they're doing it and bringing the defense back and being that gritty team and having a legitimate superstar, in Cade Cunningham. Even when the Pistons had the greatest 5 alive, they didn't have that superstar guy. And now you have a guy that people are tweeting about because he's cooking LeBron on live TV, that's getting the interviews with Shaq, that is going to be starting in the All-Star game, that's going to be starting for Team USA at the Olympics. It's awesome to have a guy like that to really bring back the Detroit Pistons and the winning ways of a storied franchise.
I think it's so special, too, not just that they're bringing it back the Detroit way, but I think what really adds to that superstar lure that he should be starting an all-star, he needs to be first-team All-NBA, and why he's getting that top 3 now, MVP chatter, is because it's still true. He needs that extra help, but guess what? It's not stopping him from being number 1 this year. A lot of people are saying, get him that number 2 score. I think this is why Cade Cunningham was selected by the Detroit Pistons. They talked about him being a connector, him being a leader. And not just that, I love the fact that he was called over. It was a national broadcast, I believe, NBC Sports, and they asked him, is this your bodyguard with Javonte Green behind him? I'm like, oh, come on. The nerves of you. But he was like, what? He was like, No, man, he's one of our contributors. Like we told you, we got this bench crew that comes in at XYZ, and it was dope to see him turn around and give that type of respect to his guys rather than just kind of playing it off and keeping it moving. I like that attention to detail for this team, and I think that Cade Cunningham, along with the makeup of these guys that Trajan has brought in and how JB has coached them up, it got these guys looking for real. I don't think that they're just a flash in the pan, like they're having a good hot start to the season. This looks real, and I rely on what Spinney said he relies on too, and what LeBron James said he relied on. LeBron, after that beatdown, was like, look, y'all, I remember them old teams. Mm-hmm. I watched them. I was at they playoff runs. I played against them. This team is bringing that Detroit feel back, man. Tell me if I'm wrong, Spinney.
No, you're 100% right, and it starts with JB Bickerstaff instilling that process and that grit and that defense into this team. Like, we got Jalen Duren locking down Luka Doncic on the perimeter. Like, that's not just accidental. Like,
he plays better defense than Luka.
Yeah. I think I could play better defense than Luka. Like, you look at what's going on, and when they drafted Ron Holland, I said the Pistons have the opportunity to have the the best trio of wing defenders in the NBA with Cade Cunningham, Ron Holland, and Ausar Thompson. And we're seeing it out there. These guys are so long. They're so switchable. They can guard 1 through 4 easily. They can do anything on the perimeter, in the paint, protecting the rim. Cade Cunningham has been blocking the shit out of everybody this year. and he is a top 3 two-way player in the NBA. I look at Cade. I look at Giannis. And I look at SGA as the best two, and Victor will be there soon. Like Wemby, he's got to get a full season before I can put him into that kind of contention, but he's going to be there very soon. But the way that he does it on both sides of the ball, he is – I don't know if he still is, but like a week ago, he was quite literally the best on-ball defender in the NBA. Like, he was holding players to the worst shooting percentage amongst qualifying defenders. And it's not like he's going out there and he's just standing in the corner and guarding TJ McConnell. Like, no, he is up there. He is pressing pick and rolls. He is making sure they don't get easy entry passes. He's using his length. He's protecting the rim. And it's awesome because that's what wins in Detroit. And obviously, like football, you can't have two-way players, so we can't bring up those examples. But you look at the championships that have come to Detroit, it is because of the Sergei Fedorovs and the Steve Eisermans playing both sides of the ice. It is because of the Joe Dumars and the Rip Hamiltons and the Tayshaun Princes playing both sides of the court. Like, you can't just be this guy who is only offensive. You need to do everything, especially in basketball, because you're out there the whole time. So it's great to see him playing and really holding others accountable as well for that standard. Because you look at the Lakers and why they're so soft and why they're such an ass defensive team is because that's what their stars exude. If your superstar, if your MVP is not even getting into a lane, is not even putting a hand out when guys are driving by him, if he's just letting things happen, that's going to trickle down through your team. But when you have your MVP, when you have your superstar, when you have your guy in Cade Cunningham going out there, taking the toughest assignment, playing the biggest defense, going up at the rim on people, blocking shots, telling Jalen Suggs to get that shit out of there. Like, it's down through the rest of the team. And it starts with Cade Cunningham and JB Bickerstaff.
I love that he said that because that actually made the NBA's top 10 blocks or defensive plays of 2025. Cade's came in at
it was beautiful.
10. It was absolutely beautiful, man. And you know what? One more play here. Before 2025 ended, Dennis Jenkins, after they beat the Lakers, he decided to avoid the shot clock violation or the turnover, to throw the ball not to his player that was defending him, but to Bronny James. What'd you think about that? The undrafted had to earn it and get it out the mud. Dennis Jenkins threw the ball at I won't call him a Nepo baby, but I wouldn't be mad if Spinney did, Bronny James.
And he's definitely a Nepo baby. And that shit is awesome. That's that Detroit shit, bro. Like, that's that dog shit. It's, give this to your fucking daddy. Like, that shit's awesome. And Dennis, like you said, got it out of the mud. Was the G League guy, was the Summer League guy, and he got his opportunity because of early season injuries, and he went out there and he balled, and he earned it. And, like, they're treating Bronny James like he's Steven Izzo. Like, every time he gets the ball, all the crypto's like, oh, look at that. No, this guy, he's not an NBA player. He's not, flat out. He's a good basketball player, and I'm not mad at it. Like Thanasis has been in the league for, like, 10 years now. Like, that guy can barely dribble. So it's going to happen, and I would do the same thing. But you set him up for shit like that. Like, these guys are going to come at him. These guys are going to do stuff like that. And I will say that is my second favorite ball throwing of the NBA season because, as much as I hate the Magic, when Desmond Bane threw that ball at OG Anunoby, that was some of the funniest shit I've ever seen in my entire life, dude. I hate the Knicks more than the Magic. So seeing Desmond Bane just whip that ball at him when he's laying out of bounds, that shit was so funny.
Dog, I love Spinny's energy, dog.
Oh, it's the best.
Everything he brings to sports.
I was gonna ask him a different question, but because he talked about hating the Knicks so much, I'm gonna go into a question we asked before we take a full time out and get a little restroom break for the crew here. But Spenny, I'm about to ask the chat, and we're gonna talk about villain of the year, villain of 2025. A player, a coach, a team, a referee, anything. I got to imagine Jalen Brunson might be on your list, but give us a name for villain of the year 2025.
Oh, villain of the year. That's a good. My mind immediately went to the refs.
Right?
I don't want to do that, but like they in every sport, like
sport.
It's not just one. It's just refs in general. But I'm not going to do that. Villain of the year.
I'll give you a couple examples. Possibly, you got Jalen Brunson, Ben Johnson, Alex Bregman.
Alex Bregman's a good one.
Jorge Polanco.
Chris Illich.
Chris Illich could be in it.
I was just pondering that.
I was thinking Scott Harris, but I can't do that.
Scott Harris could be in it too.
I'm going to go Ben Johnson. I got to go Ben Johnson because, he left us, and that's fine. Leave it. You get a head coach job. That's what happens. But to go to the fucking Bears, and he looks like a villain. Like his press conferences, he looks like he looks like an evil villain. So I'm going Ben Johnson, and he's having all the success, and the Lions are out of the playoffs. It's just gross. So
looking like a young Doc Ock.
Spenny, happy New Year. Thanks for everything you do. Enjoy the day, man.
Happy New Year.
For sure. And appreciate you guys for holding it down. Happy New Year's to you guys. Kool-Aid, Broder, Justin, love you guys. And everybody in the chat, thank you so much. 2025 was a crazy year. There was a lot going on, both at the network and in sports, and we have just been rocking. So we're going to continue, nose to the grindstone. It's good to have a day off in the week. I forgot what this feels like, so that's pretty awesome. But we appreciate you all tapping in, man. We're not going to stop. There's nothing that can stop us, and we're just going to push through. I'm not worried about 100,000. I'm worried about 200,000. So
let's go. I like that.
You.
I like that. That's 5 years of Planet Fitness, man.
Yeah, serious. No, that's
Spinny is fit, bro. I didn't even know he was still on.
That's a man. The dude works harder than anybody. That was awesome.
Man.
That was awesome. He and Easy have really built something special with the heavyweights.
Oh yeah.
Like they do it different and they do it their way.
Authentic.
And it's entertaining, man. And they know what they're talking about too.
When we talk about the best,
except for quarterbacks, Easy. I love you, dude. He's coming on later, so we can. Yeah.
When we talk about the best, we cannot forget about those heavyweight streams.
Oh yeah. Those 24-hour shows.
That was subathon.
Yeah, that was 2025.
That was epic.
With Nick Koloff and Chris Platty.
Dog. You only get that here.
They got cojones.
Cojones.
All right, we're going to take a break here in a second, but I want to leave you with this question that we can talk about when we come back. Villain of the year 2025. Who is it? I see some great ones in the chat. First one I saw when I asked it earlier, Demon Dice 2025. Villain of the year? He says Dan Gamble and Jared Goff easily. Dan gambling away the Lions' rent money and Goff just being Goff. I see a Scott Boras from Rando Smalls.
I see one that I thought. I was like, you know what? I think this is the first year that we'll actually see him show up in these types of questions.
Is it from DNCNT?
Yes, it is.
Who is it?
The guy who actually wears the hoodie. Mr. Brad Holmes. It says villain right on it. I don't even think he cares. So he would step up to the podium and tell the media, I don't care. And then thumb his nose up at him.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
And by the way, if you vote for Brad Holmes, it doesn't mean you're out on him or you want him fired. We're talking about 2025.
A Green just said Brad versus Chris.
It could be it. Brad versus Chris. Spenny said Ben Johnson. Jalen Brunson could be in that list.
I gotta see Justin.
Referees?
Brad Holmes, bro.
Could be up there.
Okay.
All right, think about it, chat. We'll be back in, call it 120 seconds. We'll call it 2 minutes. Yeah. All right. Run it, baby.
Share that stream. Let's rock, man.
Big injuries, big news.
If I run the restroom real quick.
Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shaq Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsAndSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
And we back.
What up, dope people?
What's the dilly?
Hey, Happy New Year's, bro.
Happy New Year to you, too.
Happy New Year's, folks.
Happy New Year to you, Justin.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, chat. Man, what a year it was, 2025. We're here in our year in review show, Kool-Aid. Feels like Wake Up Woodward reignited.
That's some vibes, man.
That's some
I
vibes.
like it. I like it.
I saw some people shouting out my guy Booner in the chat, talking Woodward Knights, Jeff and Lucas and Mike Gentry, the dudes. It looks like they're doing great. The times we got to get to this point at Woodward Sports, it's been a lot of fun. A lot of good things that happen, and a lot of villains along the way.
There's some villains along the way. I'm glad we start there before we get to who the hero of the year would be.
Yeah, right.
Because the villain of the year, it took on something much different. I think a lot of people were just ready to say some of the same old, like Chris Ilitch. How long has he been a villain of the year? But now all of a sudden it's like you got some other competition here. And I was surprised at first to see that Brad Holmes was one of those guys.
Yeah.
I've seen him take some criticism, but
do you think that's
an interesting one.
Do you think that's too soon, or all the things that he said leading up to the year and throughout the year, and then how the year played out? Does it sort of marry together as, dude, we were not good?
Some of it, I think, also is there's been things for years that fans have complained about. Fans have talked about the edge rush position. Fans have talked about you got to bolster and make sure that offensive line stays elite. Fans have talked about, can we do something real? Do something a little bit different at the cornerback position or more consistent. Let me do that rather than having the retreads on one end, and then on the other side having the rookies or the young players that we're supposed to depend on, but they haven't been able to get any type of consistency as it relates to Terry Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw. So I feel like all of that culminating in back-to-back seasons that don't end the way that they're supposed to. The loss to the Commanders, as well as how this season went. I wonder if that's just accelerating things. Because I used to be one of those ones. I would say, you know what? I wish they would go out there and get another edge, but I'm going to just trust in Brad and Dan because they're winning. They're showing that their way can work. Now that they've lost, and it's like, you know what? You would like to have the other edge. You would like to make sure they had the offensive line right because they say that is paramount to Jared Goff. And we saw how it affected Jahmyr Gibbs. I think that's where Brad comes into a little bit more clear focus.
Maybe on the edge rusher conversation, maybe they were good if they had a veteran DC. Not saying Kelvin Shepherd isn't the answer or is. The defense was top 10 in points scored and getting sacks from the linebacker position up until about week 10. Then he got his pants taken down by more veteran, more experienced OC. So, maybe they were good if you still had Aaron Glenn or if you still had Terrell Williams. I don't know. He's probably worthy of being in the conversation. You brought up Chris Ilitch, too. He's maybe been in it in past years, but R.J. Graham has a very specific reason why this year. He says biggest villain is Chris Ilitch still not signing Scooble.
Ooh.
That's a new way to look at it. Could it be Scott Harris / Jeff Greenberg for their trade deadline acquisitions, who about all average the age of
or lack thereof.
70? Yeah. Finnegan turned out good, but if I'm not mistaken, there were like 11 new guys brought in at the trade deadline. Yeah. Jalen Brunson was kind of that guy in the playoffs against the Pistons last year, that Reggie Miller type villain.
Yeah.
Spenny brought up Ben Johnson,
which is a great one. That's a great one because you have to think about what's last on people's minds. That Commanders loss, in which that week of, the Commanders assistant said, I'm not taking the interview. Ben Johnson took the interview.
Yeah.
Look, we know that is normal amongst the NFL, but I know that a lot of Lions fans thought, look, bro, especially if you're out of here, your job is probably secure. Maybe you want to focus on putting everything into this because you guys know it's Super Bowl or bust for these Detroit Lions. Yeah. So that I think is a little bit tough, man. When you think about that, and then like Spinney says, then he goes to the Bears.
I know.
That in the NFC North. We take this stuff serious. We're not just running around here saying FTB just because. No, we're saying it for our health. It matters. It means something. And I think that's the component of it. Like, we were just singing the praises of one Ben Johnson and getting ready to pat him on the back as he walked out of the door and went to pick any team outside the NFC North, just the same way we did with Aaron Glenn. Mm-hmm. But nope, he decided, I want to be right here. I want to compete right here. And I love the fact that Dan Campbell said he's not going to shy away from it. I'm just hoping that next year we have a much better game plan to keep those Chicago Bears at the bottom of the division while we keep it warm for them this year, and we can see the Lions back on top.
Are we missing an obvious one? Like, have I not even brought up what Steve Lehman said in the chat, Sharon Moore? Does he fit the villain role, or is that just like story of the year?
I don't know. I think that one would definitely be the story of the year.
Yeah.
That's got to be the rise from the top, that fall all the way down into disgrace. That one is definitely the story of the year. But in terms of villain of the year, I don't know. I feel like more people are going to be united in their disdain for what Scott Harris is not doing or what Chris Ilitch is not doing to bolster the Detroit Tigers, who, in my opinion, had a couple runs back-to-back that could have went a little bit further than they did if they actually went and did something substantive at the trade deadline.
Do I start beef with Chad? Do I start beef with our owner here?
What's he talking about?
He's not. He's just Following up on our guy Matthew Kruger, Caseville Country Boy, says, how many 5-turnover games do we have to endure under Jared Goff before we realize he is not him?
You know what? Does he deserve to be in the conversation? People are actually putting Brad Holmes in the villain conversation, and not in the good way that it used to mean, but they mean villain of the year negatively. I do believe that does open up the conversation for a guy like Jared Goff. That's a guy who I used to champion because he would go out there and the wins were there, the stats were there, the division titles were there. But when you take a step back like that, when you get the money that you're getting paid, you would think this guy is going to be able to help us overcome some of the issues that they had. Talk about it, Justin. I'm telling you, this year, it changed a lot for me, man. It really did. What up, though?
I mean, it just enforced, like, what we all knew, and it's that the offensive line has to be top tier. He cannot be under pressure the way – like, he makes plays when everything is perfect, and it hasn't been over the course of the season. And, I mean, the Vikings just cooked him both times.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just, like, Goff either. It was the game plans. Like, Dan Campbell got cooked. It was the lack of top-to-bottom execution.
Including Jared Goff.
And
let's
Jared Goff.
Yeah.
And so
it
was honestly insane watching Max Brosmer beat us. That was actually disgusting to watch.
Who?
Max Brosmer.
Never heard of him.
He was an undrafted free agent from Minnesota.
I still can't believe we lost to him, dog. That's still, especially seeing how the results went right after that. It's like the Lions, you were giving yourself something to play for. And here they go. You would think in a game like that, there's no way you go in and you're Jared Goff and you say, I'm going to lose to a team that has net 3 passing yards. And you know what? The opposing quarterback still only have 48 passing yards. That can't happen. At the very least, when you talk about the way that the Lions got Matt Flynn paid by who? The Seattle Seahawks, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
At least he balled the frick out. 400 and some odd yards. It's one of those historic games where like the quarterbacks combined for nearly 1,000 passing yards in the game. And like 8 or 9 touchdowns. At least he balled out. As Justin has continued to stress, Max Brosmer with 48 passing yards and bro, we talk about the pressure. They finally got 45, sack yards to net the 3, and you still lose. I can't.
It was a full collapse. Full collapse.
Shouldn't he have been better than that one?
Let's go back to the question. How many 5-turnover games do we have to endure under Jared Goff before we realize he is not him? Well, there's been 2 of them, and 1 was a win. And so 2 out of what? 56. How many games has he played since he's been here? The bad games are the outliers. Jared Goff's not perfect. Jared Goff is not elite. Jared Goff, if he has a top 10 offensive line, is elite. Jared Goff, if he has the offensive line from 11 to 20, is average.
Yeah. And this is the thing.
Wait, real quick.
Gotcha.
21 to 32, Jared Goff is a bottom 5 quarterback.
Ooh.
So the job is to rebuild the offensive line, right? Whether you have Jared Goff or you have Lamar Jackson. The Lions got to do that anyway. You build a competent offensive line. You build a good one like we expect Brad Holmes to do. You have an elite quarterback. You don't. You need a mobile. If Brad Holmes has no plans to build an elite offensive line, they should start looking elsewhere.
And I was just about to say, then when you look at this past year and you realize they probably relied on some things that were more question marks rather than sure things. And when they got Zeitler, we knew that's sure in the offensive line. But when you're saying we're going to turn it over to, even if we like Christian Mahogany, even if we like the prospects of a Tate Ratledge, it's early in their careers. And you needed that offensive line to be something. Where you put more of that? Because Brad Holmes obviously finds himself in the potential villain of the year conversation because of things like not making sure the offensive line is set right. Does this mean, do you elevate Jared Goff into that villain of your conversation, or do you believe it is more the Brad Holmesium of it? Because do we just continue to rely on Goff has to have it right? If you're getting paid, I feel like you have to be able to do a little bit more than have that offensive line right if you're Goff.
I just think we're underappreciating what he does when things are right. When his offensive line is competent. And they were competent for a chunk of this year, and the Lions while it's not a season I'm proud of, they were still 8-6 and battling for the division. Goff isn't a guy that's going to lift a team, a mediocre team, to a Super Bowl team, but he's one that can take a team with Super Bowl aspirations and a Super Bowl roster that all does their jobs.
He's good enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's good enough. When things break down, Jared Goff is one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL.
Well,
There's nothing he can do. When you need a quarterback to sit in the pocket, deliver the ball accurately on time through his progressions, Jared Goff is as good as anybody. We have weapons, right? We want to get it to St. Brown and Laporta and J-Mo and Gibbs and Tesla. There's one quarterback who's the best at doing that when he has protection. So build the protection. You have an elite quarterback. If you don't want to build an elite line, I'm with everybody. We need a different quarterback.
Yeah.
Because he can't bring this team to where we want to go if he doesn't have the offensive line doing their job consistently.
That's actually a fire take. That's a fire. So what I hear then from you is that there's a little bit of share in the villain of the year. Not that you don't believe in Brad Holmes if you make him your villain of the year. Not that you don't believe in Jared Goff in the future if you make him your villain of the year. But as it related to 2025, you think that they share in that a little bit. Brad Holmes should have did more. Oh, you don't?
I don't think Jared Goff should be in that conversation this year.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
he did everything he could. He didn't play well down the stretch. I'm not defending all of his games, but he had some really good. He kept this team in and helped win a lot of games.
You got some support, man, for some people in the chat.
It should be 50. This is the part of our evolution as fans, as analysts, as fan analysts.
I'm kind of on the line. Look, Broder, you helped me pull it back off the ledge, but I'm kind of on the line of putting him in that villain of the year conversation.
All right, you can.
On the line, just it's on there. We're gonna see how this goes.
He wasn't the reason. Justin Herbert would have been better with this team than Jared Goff. Jared Goff would. What are the Chargers? 11-6. They are 12-5. They would have been 5-12 with Jared Goff. But I bet you that Bears team would love Jared Goff with that offensive line.
Oh,
I bet you. You put him on a team with a good offensive line, he's making everybody
He's not
around
making
him better.
Some of those throws Caleb Williams are making.
Caleb Williams sucks. He can do way more out of the pocket. When things break down,
he sucks in the pocket.
Right.
But he is an elite off-platform thrower.
Yeah, dude. His talent's
the throws
insane.
that he makes down the stretch, in one-score games, they have one loss, and it was against San Fran.
Yeah.
Who's going to be on track to be the 1 seed in the NFC. So, Caleb Williams is pretty damn good.
When things break down, I'm taking Caleb Williams, and I don't even believe in the guy, but he can be special out of the pocket.
Yeah. It's what Ben Johnson said. Before that season started, he stated, "Hey, look, I see some things. I feel like he might have still been with the Lions or so." But
it was at the NFL draft or the draft combine where he's talking about, and we took it as, he's throwing shade at Goff and
that
he's uplifting Caleb.
It
was the first thing we should have noticed about him. It's like, okay, he's doing all right at this head coach thing.
And you remember the long touchdown pass that was against the Packers, and he did the whole chili thing. That was the first thing I thought about, because what did he do? He escaped and evaded the pressure, used his mobility, then used the big arm to be able to run on the pass on the throw on the run, and gets the touchdown.
Yeah.
And that was what Ben Johnson was talking about, the ability of a guy he didn't mention Caleb Williams, but like Caleb Williams, to extend those types of plays. He said, look, a lot of these guys get home. A lot of these guys are getting the pressure. So what are you going to be after that pressure? The Lions have been really, really good up to this year at making sure that pressure wasn't going to be something that affected Jared Goff that much. But obviously this year was one that was like, whoa, do not enter this next season without a certified offensive line. I need to know, when we talk about what's the best unit on this team, that we're saying offensive line without hesitation.
Yeah.
Again. That used to be, for the 2 years they won the division, every year it was, what's the best unit on the team? Oh, offensive line, start next. We don't even ask that question. Ask who's 2 through 5. So that's where I'm at. I don't want to have to worry or think about it. And then I wonder, if we're worrying and thinking about it, how much is Jared Goff, who probably understands his limitations, worried and thinking about it? And I don't want to see Jahmyr Gibbs, who, if you want Jahmyr Gibbs to run between the tackles, get him some players that can make that more or less injurious occasion for him.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him running through an offensive line that might put him in a little bit more harm's way than anything. So I don't know, man.
Where was he down the stretch?
That offensive line, great again.
Yeah. So last thing on this topic, and I'll just because I haven't talked to Justin about it, can you work with me on this here, Justin?
Yep.
Let's average 60 plays a game, right? 60 offensive plays. If you're a Super Bowl caliber team, not the Lions, just any Super Bowl caliber team, how many plays do you expect to be executed to perfection? 50?
The one, not even. I mean,
45?
Perfection in an offensive coordinator's mind is a touchdown. I mean, they talk about every play is drawn up to be a touchdown.
Okay. But how do you expect them to be executed? Those plays to get a touchdown. You expect your team to execute them 45, 50 times out of the 60 plays?
Over 50.
Yeah, over 50.
Yep.
So that means less than 10 plays break down each game.
Yeah.
So why are we – and I'm not saying this is the only reason to point out, like, advantage Goff, because there are many, but – why are we so stuck on the players that can do more with the 9 plays a game that break down, which just about every other quarterback in the NFL can do more than Goff, versus which are the quarterbacks that can sit in the pocket and execute for the other 50 to 55 plays a game?
And I think what really backs you up a lot with the component of what you get out of Jared Goff when the system works the way even Brad Holmes says it's supposed to is that first year they made the playoffs. Jared Goff was dag near perfect. We were 20 minutes away, and if we had some players that just caught a couple passes, man, we're talking something much different. We saw them also ice away the Rams in the playoffs with the ball in Jared Goff's hands. That, to me, is something we didn't see in the past, where we knew we're going to pass to ice away the clock. In the past, it was like, all right, we're going to run it 4 times and then punt it, and hopefully our defense can make the stop. And so that's the year for me that I still have some type of distant kind of hold. It still has a distant hold on me where I'm like, can we still get that Jared Goff? Can we get that type of offensive line play? Because you know what? Everything else on that team, not everything else on that team was perfect.
No.
That's what I'm saying. You take this offensive line and you tinker with that. You can't afford to lose 15, 20 players or whatever it was on the defense. Think about how many players they lost on defense, including Aiden Hutchinson. And because the offensive line was still somewhat, and because Goff could operate much better than I saw, this team was able to overcome that type of stuff in the regular season, which I would have loved for them to be able to do this year. So I do put still some onus on Goff. I got to ask you, too, just straight up, that dude, Justin, you see Brad Holmes, he makes his way into the Villain of the Year conversation. Do you put Jared Goff there at all? Is he in the conversation for you?
Yeah, I mean, he has some accountability to be had. He lost games for this team down the stretch. He made mistakes. He made errors. And, you know, there's a lot of people that deserve – sorry, I'm just laughing at Benny and Easy in the chat. They're going crazy. But I mean, he has to be. He cost this team wins. And everyone always says that wins aren't a quarterback stat, but everyone always champions Goff's playoff wins. So I don't know how that's relevant. If we're going to take one, you have to take it with the other.
100%. 100%. We'll put a bow on this conversation. Just to be clear, Demon Dice, how would Brock Purdy look on the Lions? He would look better than Jared Goff this year. A mobile, athletic quarterback who would be better on this Lions team this year than Jared Goff.
Yeah, and you know what? I like this. Spinny said, nah, Goff's not in the villain conversation, man.
Yeah, I don't think he's deserving. The questions are deserving. I just don't think with other figures in this city he should be a villain this year.
Yeah.
Now, if you come back with a better offensive line and you shit the bed, or you don't improve, you don't get this team to the NFC Championship game and beyond, fair game. Fair game.
Because we all know what it is. Like, if you have Jared Goff here, Brad Holmes, more than anybody, knows exactly who he is as a quarterback because he saw him before coming to Detroit. You would assume that he knows I got to do a little bit better on offensive line. And I think that that's what the push was with Tate Ratledge, the belief in Christian Mahogany, amongst others. But obviously, you know, if they run it back the same way, then either Jared Goff has to prove he can get it done, whether that offensive line is up or not, or either Brad Holmes has to make something happen, which, like I said, I believe Brad Holmes winds up in that conversation more than Goff because of multiple deficiencies, multiple things. Not making the move at the trade deadline after you saw that the initial set of moves that you made in offseason weren't really panning out the way that you wanted.
Yeah. Factual. Do we have our 145 host joining us, Justin? If not, we'll keep rolling.
Not yet.
Not yet. Cool. I have a feeling he's going to want to talk a little Tigers. Really any of the teams.
Oh, wait. I actually, not in a second. I have to grab it. I have a clip from Neil.
Okay. Let's watch that.
Yeah.
Do you know which one can you give me a hint of which one it is? Oh, you got it teed up. We're going to watch it in a second.
Yeah, I've not watched it. I'm assuming it's going to be
NSFW.
I'm going to take a big fat guess and just assume it's going to be about Michigan.
Okay.
Oh, goodness.
That's going to be my guess. So I'm pulling it up right now. Sorry, a little production on the fly.
Dude, you're good. You're good. This whole show's on the fly, so do your thing,
All
baby.
right. Are you ready?
His appearance in the chat, too.
What's up, everybody? Neil Rule, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, 11 to 1. Just want to tell everybody Happy New Year. Sorry I couldn't come on. I'm getting ready to go to work here, as you see in the background. Spent New Year's Eve in Youngstown, Ohio. So who needs Miami or Las Vegas when you can spend your New Year's Eve in Youngstown? But I do want to tell everybody thank you for every great year on Big D Energy, and it was because of you guys. So again, big thanks to all of you. Love putting on the show for you guys, for T-Foss, for D-Max, Spencer, KG. Again, thank you all for your continued viewership, your continued interaction, all of it. You guys are it. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you on Friday.
Yeah. Shout out to Neil, man. Mr. Elite. That's our president. You're talking about a guy who came here. I remember when he got to Woodward, and he was like, look, I'm just here to crush. And to see where he and that show's at right now, and to see how he's taking it well beyond just the borders of Detroit and this great state of pure Michigan. And now he's become, when you talk about Villain of the Year, I think Neil Rule will pop up on some of our, maybe some Washington Commanders and Minnesota Vikings lists, some of their fans lists.
I think so. Neil's got 7 of our top 15 clips this year on Twitter. Many
success.
Many in
Mr.
December.
Elite.
Like literally many in the last 2 months. His bit on choosing Jayshon Barham's half-game suspension against Oklahoma, 2.3 million views. It was epic. Terry comes in at second, talking about snow buddies, and the issue. I can't even. Maybe I'll let you describe it.
I remember that.
A certain community viewing snow bunnies
as terrorists.
That's one. Then Neil comes back in at number 3.
Shout out to you.
His rant on the NFL world overrating Micah Parsons, 1.3 milli.
Hey, Stick said
Neil does numbers.
Rule is Woodward's Jordan.
Neil Rule, yeah.
Or Isaiah Thomas.
He might be villain number 1 on Vikings fan pages, Commanders fan pages.
Oh yeah.
Michigan fan pages. Neil's elite. Really good message on him. Big D has become one of the most popular shows in any time slot in the state.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the levels of viral that they've been able to go, and it's they bring a great show. It's a good mix of not just sports conversation, but they got a good brotherhood on there, a good flow.
What
It's
Neil
awesome.
has done elite. He's come up with elite sound bites. We got our next host joining us as a guest. We're going to bring him on here. When we're done with that, I want to talk about a sound bites of the year. Different sound bites from around Detroit sports. There are some funny ones.
We're good.
That we're going to get to. But we had a new show start. Some veterans on the show, but a new show start on a slot that you're very familiar with at 2 o'clock.
Go Blue.
Braylon Edwards. The Braylon Edwards Show with Matt Shepard has been a hit, and people have just continued to start to understand and listen to their voice. 2 very unique voices in this market, in this country.
Oh, yeah.
We're lucky to have one of the new co-hosts join us today, Matt Shepard. Shep, Happy New Year.
My
Guys,
God.
it's awesome to see you. It's awesome to hear you. It's such an honor to work as part of this entire Woodward sports family. So all the best to you and your families, and a happy 2026.
You too. How has this first year been for you? I'll let Kool-Aid follow up, but you spend enough time with him. I don't get to see you as enough. What's been the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep? What's been that experience this year, and what are we looking forward to moving forward in 2026?
Well, what I love most, Broder, about the show is Braylon's insight, obviously, to football, his passion toward that. But I love the family togetherness. It sounds kind of corny, but Kool-Aid, as you know, always comes in with a smile, so it's really hard to be in a bad mood when he's in there. Cam is now working with us, and he's all in, which is what I love. But we do something, I think Braylon does something on our show that is so unique to this market, and I hope more and more people are recognizing, and we call it Braylon's Breakdown, where he breaks down so many of the different plays that are taking place that he thinks are key, either good or bad, from football. But it's not just football. He does it for some other things too. So that to me, I think is really unique, but it's really the people. I think just like Braylon, can't say that we necessarily need to do a show like that. I do it because I want to and because of the people I work with. So that's what I love most about it.
Hey, definitely. It's been awesome to have Shep a part of the show. But, he was a part of Woodward on and off before that.
Some people probably don't feel that way. Some people don't feel that way. You know what I mean, Kool-Aid? I mean, but we keep each other on our toes.
We do.
You got to be coming with receipts, Broder, as you know. You've got to be coming with receipts. I mean, you better have a clear understanding if we're going to have a debate on the Braylon Edwards show.
Oh, yeah, and that's the thing. I love it. The power stats by Shep are some of my favorite, and they always catch me off guard. I'm like, dog, like I had a whole argument, Shep. Like, what in the world?
He's elite at that. He's got the experience and the knowledge of all the different sports and their histories where Kool-Aid, if you don't come with your receipts, Shep knows just how to play devil's advocate for you. And I think that's important because we're a voice of the fans, mixing fandom with analysis. I think Shep's a perfect voice to join someone like Braylon Edwards, to join you and to join Cam.
Hey, it's been an awesome time having Shep here at the network, especially more on a full-time basis. It was cool when he was coming here and he was filling in on some shows early on, and we got to meet him. And one of the things that stuck out with me early on was he's like, I'm not just a Tigers guy.
No, he's not.
And to see it kind of just develop, and even here on the Braylon Edwards show, when we talk about some of the best of the year, it sucks that it comes out of one of Michigan's down parts of the year in terms of Sharon Moore. But the back and forth and the conversation between and overall the perspective of Braylon Edwards, that was epic, man. He and Shep, I thought, did a really good job at that.
Braylon has it all in him. Shep knows how to pull that out of everyone he works with. I learn a lot watching Shep. But Shep, you've seen all these different teams for years, but we're talking 2025. Which of the Detroit sports teams, and I'll include Michigan, Michigan State, Oakland, Western Michigan, which Detroit team defined 2025 the most for you in any way?
Western Michigan's hockey team.
Look at Justin over there. Look at Justin over there.
Yeah. Western Michigan's hockey team. If you truly love what the state of Michigan and what Detroit and quite honestly what Woodward Sports is all about. Woodward Sports is made up with people who have great passion, but who are underestimated in a lot of ways. That's what Western Michigan hockey was. How many people? I mean, Justin did because he's there. He knows those guys. He's on that campus. But how many people were talking about Western Michigan before they got to St. Louis? How many people were talking about Western Michigan as a possible national championship threat?
Only Justin.
Yeah, only Justin. No, that's true. That's a fact. We had a segment yesterday, Broder, where we were asking people about great Detroit traditions. Mm-hmm. And one of mine was the Great Lakes Invitational. And it's the Great Lakes Invitational because of, I've called it for 2 decades, but also because I thought it just kind of epitomized what Detroit is all about. And we don't have it in Detroit anymore. It's in Grand Rapids. I understand where college hockey ranks on everybody's totem pole. But when you look back and you think, what should bring us a great deal of pride? Anybody else win a national championship? Anybody else win any type of championship at all? I mean, sure, the Lions won a division title. That's great. Pistons got to the playoffs. That's awesome. The Tigers.
Other than Michigan gymnastics, no.
Okay, there you go. And I wouldn't have known that, so kudos to you for knowing that. But I would say Western Michigan's hockey team and what coach did there, and I had him on my show after that. It should be a prideful moment for everybody. And I'm a Chippewa, so it should be a prideful moment.
Fire up. talking about what I didn't expect an answer, but him explaining it sounds so perfect, and what you guys do awesome. Highlighting
Yeah,
and you're also highlighting Detroit high school athletes on the Braylon Edwards show with Shep. That's
a big one.
That's what's next.
Shout
Part
out
of what
Smoothie
makes
King.
Woodward Sports special, and one of the things you guys are taking on at your show.
It's been awesome. The partnership with Smoothie King and Woodward Sports Network and Braylon Edwards show has been epic. And it's not just that we're profiling and giving, some homage to and honoring some of our top athletes from this great state of Michigan, but it's about the fact that these guys are going literally from this show, being interviewed, then winning on the national stage too. So it's just winners on winners on winners. That's what I like. Whether it's the people we're interviewing, whether it's the great hosts like Bray and Shep, or even you chat family out there, go ahead and smash that like button if you haven't gotten the opportunity to. But, those are things that's been pretty great. When you talk about the highs of 2025, the intrinsic, when you get beyond just the pro sports of it all, those things, how we've tried to make our presence that much more known in the community amongst the next generation of high school athlete greats.
I love it.
I love that initiative.
I love it. Shep, is there one team, player, coach, storyline in 2026 that you got your eye on?
Well, what I was going to say is what else we've done is with the Smoothie King High School Player of the Week is we've branched out to so many different sports. We had volleyball, hockey,
swimming,
football, swimming, cross country. It's been an awesome display of the versatility of really good athletes in our state. So Braylon, that's all Braylon, by the way. I mean, Braylon's reach is so deep, so far, and his ability to connect with people. And I think it's a wonderful thing. And you know what else it gives us, Broder? I mean, we see these young kids either come in or via VMix, and they are really impressive kids, man. I mean, really impressive. And you can tell parents and coaches have done a wonderful job of raising them. So I just love all that. Now, to your question, what am I looking forward to? I think in 2026, I'm looking forward to a Pistons positioning toward the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm looking forward to I'm really looking forward to the Red Wings making the playoffs. Another good win for them yesterday. Loved what they did. Really looking forward to a bounce back from the Lions, of course. I expect the Tigers to win the division, but I've done that the last 2 years. I don't expect Tarek Skubal to be here beyond this year. And I think Michigan and Michigan State football are in really good places. Their basketball programs are in great places too because they've got great coaches. And I think Dusty May is a great coach and an unbelievable recruiter, and perhaps better than anybody I can think of handling the portal and the NIL. I think getting Pat Fitzgerald at Michigan State, and I was just talking with somebody before our call here, guys, on talking with somebody at Michigan about Kyle Whittingham. They fit these programs to a T. And they are going to restore the pride and the type of football that we're used to seeing from both those teams. So, without dwelling too much on it, I love the college hockey landscape in this country or in this state as well. But I think we've got so much to look forward to in the state of Michigan and specifically in Detroit, including working with you guys. So
I love
all that.
Hey, shout out, man. Shout out to Shep.
Shep, thanks so much for joining. I'm glad to have you on. Glad to be working with you for another year. Happy New Year, Shep.
Hey, Shep is dope.
Shep
You
is
too,
dope.
guys. Thank you very much. And Broder, let's talk baseball sometime soon, okay?
Let's do it. I'd love
your perspective on that. Kool-Aid, all the best. I hope you took care of Mama Bear last night. We'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Happy New Year, brother.
All right. All right, Justin. Happy New Year, bud. See you.
Happy New Year.
LeBartney in the chat, $9.99. Happy New Year to all of WSN and chat members. Shout out LeBartney. Remember, first popping up on my radar out in Dubai, I believe it was. Has been stateside for a couple weeks.
Has been just supporting.
One of the great. You look under. We see Freddie Felt, Petoskey, Simo 313, Crazy Clown. Really good people.
And I gotta say, shout out to Petoskey because I know that I was monitoring the chat some and still trying to stay focused on the show, but he was going back and forth between his media options today. He said, "You know what? I'm gonna stick over here."
My guy.
I like the energy over here, man. Shout out to Petoskey in the chat, man. Thank you for being here. Everybody, thank you guys for being here and supporting us on this new year. What a way to kick it off, man.
I know, there's one thing that they might not like what you and I say, what comes out of our mouths, but you can expect energy on a show when we're together. You bring it out of me, I hope to do the same
to
those around me.
Man. What a way, like I said, what a way to kick off the new year, man. A New Year's special. We get to talk to all of our hosts here at the network and to be able to talk about the highs, the lows, with the people that we covered this thing with all year, and that includes the best chat family in the world, man. Hey, you can't ask for much better.
Epic. Kool-Aid, I wanted to talk soundbite of the year, but Shep was talking about something there. He was talking about a couple things that I wanted your perspective on as a dad.
Hey,
and I know you know, I know Justin knows, 2026, I'm going to be a dad in like 38 days. So when he started talking about the high school athletes that come in and they're impressive kids, impressive young men and women, taking a next step into college and college athletics, looking back on the colleges, the main colleges in our state the last couple of years, and I don't want to put Jonathan Smith in this category. He's not a bad guy, but I don't know if we can be we could have been so proud or excited to send our kids to these two programs with the chaos that's happened. First with Michigan State a couple years ago, and then Jim Harbaugh and Sharon Moore and the craziness of the last couple years at Michigan. While Whittingham and Fitzgerald may not be the sexiest names, they seem like two guys. And I hope Whittingham leads to a lot of wins. They are two coaches that I would want my son to go play under if he were coming out of high school right now. So while I know Whittingham's not a permanent, like it'll be a couple years and then we're going to find the permanent head coach. I think it's a good place for these two programs that we love here in this state to be.
100%.
Did I make that clear?
100%, because you have to think about it. It's not just, yes, the type of guy that our sons or daughters play for at the collegiate level or for any team. You want them to have this aspect of morality, and the place, so they're on one spectrum of it, and you'll see where I'm going here when I juxtapose that with where they are now, because I will put Jonathan Smith not in their same bin, but in the bin of, can you trust that this individual in this era can run the program effectively? Because if not, your son could wind up in the portal, could be losing his opportunity, and sometimes you don't get that second or third shot. So whether I need to know that person has the morality down pat as it relates to how serious are you taking coaching these kids and young men and young women, and then I need to also know that you know how to build the program. It's not just X's and O's. A lot of good X's and O's guys. Sharon Moore, good coach, but what do we talk about? Can he actually run the program? Can he get the right connections in here?
He wasn't a person you want your son to be around.
And you don't want. I don't want him around him at all. With Jonathan Smith, he might be a wonderful person, but can he run the program? So it's like from different ends of the spectrum.
Well said.
Michigan and Michigan State are in much better positions now with guys who have been proven to understand how to build programs, how to lead the next generation, and how to some degrees, win. Yeah. And so I think at these bigger brands, these established brands, obviously coming from Northwestern with Pat Fitzgerald, he came from somewhat of a brand. But I think he has a good shot with what Michigan State wants to accomplish. The money that they're now talking about putting up in Michigan's brand, we know what it is.
And that's the key of why I think it's a good moment in time for these two coaches, even if they weren't the first pick of all the loyal fans. Like with the NIL era and the development of 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds into becoming young men and young women, there's a lot of chaos around college sports right now. I would feel a little better sending my kid to play for Kyle Whittingham.
Look, you played college baseball at University of Michigan.
Yes.
So it wasn't too far from home, but it's still college and it's a big world. I went about 610 miles away from home on the East Coast, NCAA D2. Steve Francis right behind the building. So there was a lot of different influences for our basketball, and our coach was somebody very trustworthy. My dad went a couple times, made the visit, sat with the coach, talked with the administration to just make sure, like, when they were dropping me off, I was going to be 17 years old. I graduated early, and so it was like, I'm away from home. I'm a man at this point. That's what the law is going to say. That's what the world's going to say, and that's what I'm expected to be. And you just want to make sure that guidance is there, because no matter how old you get, your pops and your parents, they're still your parents, and they still want to make sure they guide. So, I was grateful to have some of the guidance that I have, and I know this. If it was any less, it would have been a bad time.
I don't think your dad would approve of it. And I don't know him very well. I've met him. He's a great
Michigan
man.
grad,
but I know
degrees from the Michigan.
As he's shaking the hand of the coach that he's about to give his son over to, he's thinking, is this the type of man I want my son to learn from? And I think it's an important time to have coaches like that in the college ranks. And we got Braylon coming on next.
We do. And I just want your perspective too of going. We've probably all of us here have played in organized sports and in various leagues and in certain collegiate aspects as well. I just wanted to be able to get your perspective on effectively that your baseball career, high school, college, and roles that those coaches played in your life.
They played outside of my dad and my grandpa, my coaches, and I can name them, but they were the most influential men in my life to help me become a respected adult, to become a good human. And Rich Maloney, the head coach at Michigan, did just that. And it wasn't all just patting me on my back and telling me I'm great. It's about how hard he pushed me and about how hard he yelled at me.
Yeah.
What did he do after? How did he pick me up? How did he take his players and mold them into a resilient human being? You worry with the transfer portal and the millions that these kids are getting. They're not fighting through adversity. You need that.
But they're supposed to be pushed as well by their coach.
Yes.
When they're pros, they should have that figured out.
Yeah.
But at the coach level, that's where I'm saying they don't even know how. Like they don't even know where their coach may or may not be leaving them. Is coach pushing us to his fullest? Is he doing his best? As it turned out with Tuck and with Sharon, they might have been spending more time writing text messages than actually scheming up for the next team.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. And I'm happy to get Braylon in as well. You talk about
we got him in the
somebody
chat.
I consider a brother, and somebody I've known for some years, even before Woodward Sports. But all we've known him to be is somebody who will put on for anybody in need.
Yeah.
He's been hero of the year too.
He's definitely in that category.
Oh yeah.
What a good guy, Freddie felt Broder. I like everything that comes out of your mouth. Thank you, man. Petoskey, you said you were giving him his flowers. He says thanks again. But can you put a bag over that Lions helmet?
There might be some Lions fans that actually feel that too. I saw Bears and Lions up on the thing for the preview. I was like, Bears, Lions, isn't the season? Oh, no, we do have another week left to go.
We do.
It's almost like just get this season over with. But it's going to be interesting to see how serious they take the Bears, if it really is we trying to beat the brakes off of them, or if they're just like, you know what, season's done.
Well, that's Braylon that. Like, what if he were in that – if he was Amon-Ra St. Brown, what would he do? Because there's
that's a great question.
And I'm not going to put words in his mouth. I think it's one of those things that it's the head coach's job to tell. You want St. Brown and Sewell and Goff and all these guys to want to play, but you need the head coach to make sure that they don't. We got about 10 minutes before he comes on. Unless he jumps on early, Justin, you give us the word. Caseville Country Boy. One of my favorite highlights of the year at Woodward was the last show of Braylon and Armani, where Anson and Maz got in that huge argument that was hilarious and epic. RJ Graham, Woodward Sports, gets me through work every day. I try to catch everyone's show when I can. Thank you all for your hard work and dedication for Detroit and the fans. It's the fans that make this network. It's why Stick, Anson, Joey, Adam Baydoun, Chad Johnson, it's why they all started this network.
Yeah.
We're lucky to be a part of it.
Shout out to our guy Flannel, too.
Oh, Flannel!
Yeah.
I texted with him earlier this week. I miss Flannel. Sounds like he's doing great. Love seeing him on the airs a couple times a week. I miss working with him.
And I did want to be able to ask you as well while we're waiting for our guy Be Easy to get on here. Shout out to my brother Braylon Edwards. Villain of the year. I know we're trying to go overall, but I'm wondering even if we kind of narrow this down by team. Obviously, for the University of Michigan Wolverines, you're saying Sharon Moore.
Yeah.
But this is where I kind of want to look at some of these other teams in particular. If we take the easy one off the docket and Chris Illich or Scott Harris, are there any players or anybody else that you're looking at in that Tigers and you're saying, you know what, they might or they should be in the conversation.
Yeah, I know. You could always throw Stephen Kwan in that mix. Even though they finally beat the Guardians.
Like that.
I know.
Some opponents.
A former Guardian, Josh Naylor, he was kind of a pest in the playoffs against the Mariners. Maybe a wild card, but I might go Jorge Polanco. Hey, like for whatever reason, he was Scooble's kryptonite. I don't get it. Jalen Brunson's a good one.
I hate thinking about that. Yeah, Jalen Brunson definitely. And you know what? I know Spinney didn't want to blame the refs. He said, look, my mind first went there.
I'm okay
but
with
every time I think about that missed 3-point foul call on Tim Hardaway in the playoffs, we would have got a Game 7 where the Pistons won, 4 games in Madison Square? It was Madison Square Cade. He took that mug over. I think his name is still on the mortgage or whatever. But I thought we were robbed of which would have been one of the best playoff matches in that entire playoff run last year. That Game 7 would have been epic, man.
I have no problem with you saying referees. And I'll name a couple moments in that it hurt Detroit. It also hurt the teams, the Lions and the Pistons and the Tigers. Some of the umpiring, horrible. But across the board, it was a bad year.
Yeah.
So we could do that's involved in Villain of the Year, referees. Maybe we'll finalize this at the end. I was thinking of going soundbite of the year, but I want to pivot because I think the referees can be involved in this one. I want to go the flip of the year. Does that make sense?
Talk to me.
If not, let's see if I can make it make sense. Frank's giving.
Oh no.
Frank Ragnow unretiring,
no.
Flipping back to retirement. He had a grade 3 knee sprain or hamstring sprain. You can't even. That was a pretty intense flip. Maybe a nominee for Story of the Year too. What about the Goff touchdown catch versus the Chiefs?
I was going to say, how many touchdowns did the Lions have overturned this year or called back or just NFL just told us that's not a touchdown for whatever reason. That happened at
that was a huge play against the Chiefs.
The Chiefs and then
end of the game against the Steelers.
2 touchdowns. 2 back-to-back.
Yeah.
Like
the one was a flip. The one that ended the game. This is the Detroit Lions have scored a touchdown, but
it was like this. It was like, hold on. They were like, hey, they started to say the call like, hey, the Detroit, wait, quiet down, hold on. The Lions did score a touchdown. Yay! But such and such, there's a flag. It's not reviewable.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Go home. You're a Lions
fan.
Insane. It was insane.
Insane.
Bro.
How about this? The Tigers' first half versus the Tigers' second half.
Quiet us down just to break our hearts, man.
Yeah. Well, we got to get the negative stuff out.
Goodness.
It was a flippy floppy type of year for these Detroit teams. How about Jack Flaherty?
Oh,
he was good last year. Flipped him to the Dodgers. Then we got him back.
They are the ultimate flippy floppy. You talk about at that All-Star break, riding high.
Mm-hmm.
One of the, if not the best team in all of baseball. 6 All-Stars. We predicted on Woo that we would get 6 in that mug, Justin.
Yep.
They actually got 6 of them in there. And then after it was almost like a completely different team. I can't, man.
That's a flip. Jamison Williams touchdown versus the Commanders. Slipped into the end zone. Honorable mention. And since he's in the chat, we'll honorable mention Easy's love for Jared Goff. I love you, Easy. We got you coming on here in a couple minutes. He's coming on at 2:30. I do love Easy. That was just a fun little jab. Any of those stick out? I mean, the referees, dude. Frank. I think, honestly, I think it's got to be Frank. Out of nowhere. The one position we need, center. We get Frank Ragnow, all-pro at 29 years old. He's coming
fired
back.
Up. That reached national news talk shows. That one was one where all of Detroit was like, you know what? Finally. Because we all understood how important the offensive line was. And after that loss in the news of, felt the physical, this ain't happening, that was actually kind of heartbreaking. We all endeared ourselves to Frank Ragnow, the Warrior man, because this guy didn't matter, right? He was going to play, injured or not. And then we found out later, this guy's been playing through injuries. He's been playing through this. He's been playing through that. He can't even feel this toe. Doesn't even know if he has this finger, but he's still going out there and being a Warrior. So that was tough because you're not used to your Warriors saying, you know what, I tried to give it a go, and it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So that one was tough, knowing how much he would have meant to this team. I thought that even just adding somebody of his ilk, of his knowledge base, it just gives you that much more depth. Now you can move somebody to a different position and rock with a couple of your veterans in there alongside of Penei Sewell.
I forgot a glaring right in front of our face, right in front of the blue hair, a villain of the year, DK Metcalf.
Oh, you know what?
He didn't really do anything to the game, to the Lions, but like, if
that's a good one.
He could be a villain of the year for if the stories don't change right now and it's proven that what he told Ocho Cinco is incorrect, that's like all-time villain of the year type stuff.
Yeah. Simo's not letting it go, though. He's still saying villain of the year is Brad Holmes, and he believes that the "we're good" comment is villain of the year material.
That's not a bad take.
We got Bray on there.
Let's get Bray on because we just hit on a bunch of different topics. Also,
Yep.
Bray's on, I think it was 4 of the top 15 top clips for Woodward Sports
Bray
of the
was
year.
cooking, man. That Braden's breakdown and then, his depiction in perspective on the Sharon Moore stuff was crazy. But I'm also, it blew up, but I'm also, in a good way it is, but I'm also wondering about his perspective on the Detroit Lions facing the Chicago Bears. That's the discourse. Sit all your starters. But you got all your money men going out there saying, we're paid to play. We want to go out there and play.
Yeah. How about this? Since you're on a show with him, you introduce the Big Ten's best wide receiver of all time.
You want me to, you know what?
Yeah.
Shout out. Hold on. I gotta do it right. My guy Braylon, man. Braylon Edwards, number 1, number 17. Be easy, man. One of the best human beings that you're going to meet out there, and one of the best at breaking down the game of football. It is Braylon Edwards. Happy New Year. Happy holiday, my brother. I can't wait to get you back on the show. What up, though?
Oh, boy.
What up, though?
What's the word? What's up, Broder? You know what I'm saying? I knew you were going to be there, so I figured I'd throw a little Michigan, a little maize on, man. Come at you guys a little strong and support the squad. They got whooped yesterday in the fourth quarter. But how you fellas going, man? Happy New Year to you, man. How's your family? How's everything going? And excited to be with you guys today.
Everything's going great, man. We get good news out of Michigan, some new coaching hires. We got the Pistons playing well, the Red Wings playing well. And a game we're going to ask you about in a little bit, the Lions game coming up. I had a great New Year's Eve. Pretty calm, stayed home. I got to that point, getting ready for this show. I have a big 2026 coming up. What about you? Did you have some family over, some little nieces, nephews crawling all over you?
Nieces, oh, you saw that, yeah.
I did.
Rain, she's a bit much to handle. I'm actually excited to get back to work tomorrow as well as Monday. I can get a little spell
Miss you,
from
bro.
her. But before we get into, I miss you too, man. We'll be in there. We'll get to. There's a lot to talk about. It's a lot to cover, so be prepared. I'll be in there. But Broder, congratulations, man. You're less than 40 days away. Give or take.
Correct. We're due February 9th. It's happening, baby.
Hey, with no Lions in
No, I'm a February baby, man. So I keep tabs on all other February babies. And congratulations again, man. Fatherhood could come to a better man. I know that you will succeed in all phases. And if you need me to put anybody in the headlock, just let me know. My number's still.
Number 1 is the number that I remember you by. On that note, fatherhood, and we just talked. We're not going to get into it again. Talked about this coaching hire, both at Michigan State, but Kyle Whittingham at Michigan. Maybe not the sexiest name, but do you think it was he's the right head coach for Michigan at this point in time in Michigan and college football?
I think people have to be very, very cognizant about responding and commenting right now. My comments are as such. When you try to break down what Kyle Whittingham is Kyle Whittingham the best one for the job? Is he the guy? Did they get it right? Whenever you're operating in a space in which the last 2 times Michigan has picked their coaches, when you're operating past December, the first time with Sharon, this is past January in terms of where Harbaugh left him in, and now this situation is you're trying to nail a pick. Broder, you went to the university. Technically Brandon Kool. Your father went to the university. You understand? It's not just your average university that you're picking individuals to come in and, for lack of a better word, save your program. It's tough. You got to vet the process. You got to kind of let it carry out. You got to see what does the first quarter look like for Kyle Whittingham. What does the second quarter look like for Kyle Whittingham? With that being said, based on what he was able to achieve at Utah, how he was able to keep that program stable for a number of years, keep them in the mix, keep them in the business, and he did operate in the space of NIL, transfer portal, etc. So for what Michigan was up against, yeah, it's the best hire. Like, there's not really much to make about it. Like, it's not your first, your second, your third, your fourth. Those options are gone because coaches are still playing, and people had their opportunity a little bit ahead of you. So for what we need and what our situation is, I think he is someone that can come in here, and for 2 years, I think he can make Michigan a serviceable program while we allow everything else from the Jim Harbaugh era to the Sharon Moore era to clear, and then Michigan go and become what Michigan was in the past. So for right now, I think he will bring about stability. I think he's saying all the right things. I think he is professional. I think he is one that cares about the players. That's, for me, the biggest thing right now. Do you care about the players? Because if you care about the players and you do right by the players, you do right by the football program, inadvertently you'll do right by Michigan. You'll do right by the Nationals, the fans, etc. So care about the kids and bring in some coaches that can play. Because I don't care about all the other stuff and how old he is and he's not and he doesn't have scandal, and I don't care about that. Can you coach, and do you care about these kids? Bring in some coaches that can player development. I think that's something when Jim Harbaugh's Michigan took off, the player development was there. We had the right coaches, the right defensive support. Man, McDonald, the Jesse Mentors, bringing in the young guy, having that connectivity. That's one thing that Jim got right towards the end of his time in Michigan. So bring in some coaches that can develop Bryce Underwood. Why am I watching Bryce Underwood in this game look the same as he did when I saw him at Belleville Catholic Central? Bring in a quarterback coach, and I hope you got him in Josh Beck and the offensive coordinator. Bring in some coaches that can develop these players and then try to make these players better. That's all I care about right now.
And you know what, Bray, let's talk about that, actually, because Bryce Underwood, you talk about a player who came in with the moniker of this could be one of the all-timers in college football. What's your confidence level that they are going to figure this thing out with him? Because I can tell you this, just on a hunch, and in terms of what we know about Kyle, I am more bullish about him actually pulling through and bringing that right development there for Bryce than I was as I saw the year play out underneath Sharon Moore. What about you?
So you're saying that you believe that Kyle Whittingham is going to bring in
I think it's going to be
right
better
people, or you don't know?
I feel like he is. I feel like in terms of how we've seen him run that program, I feel like he's going to be better for Bryce and these young players. Obviously, it's to be seen here at University of Michigan. But in terms of what we've seen prior, and you talk about those track records versus a coach like Sharon Moore who was just getting that start to run a big program, I feel like Kyle is going to know a little bit more of what to do faster. And I believe in the trajectory of a Bryce underneath his program than I did underneath Sharon's, just to be honest.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, realistically, Sharon Moore was not the man for the job. Well, I don't have to get into a deep dive of who Sharon was, but we know he wasn't the guy for the job. He was hired because you didn't have a lot of options when you're hiring January 12th. With that said, Kyle Whittingham is a better coach. He has a better record. He has a better cachet. He understands the coaching landscape. If you put Kyle Whittingham on this Michigan team last year, I'm not sure you don't go 10-2. I'm not sure you're not fighting for playoffs because Michigan didn't have a necessarily hard schedule. There were just a couple games in there. So as it relates to coming in and being a better coach than Sharon, he would definitely 100% do that. Now, the question is going to be, will he bring in the right guys to bring the player development? Because at quarterback position, they paid a lot of money for Bryce Underwood. There's a lot expected of Bryce Underwood. And, you know, when you start to add money, unfortunately, it makes the player a little bit more responsible. Before NIL, I would look at this season and tell you, the quarterback coach wasn't good. The offensive coordinator wasn't good. And they took too long to figure out the wide receiver position as it relates to getting him some weapons. So, no, it's not going to look good for him. And I'm not mad that he didn't take a step forward or if he didn't regress, etc. When you're getting paid, you have to take it just as serious as those offensive coordinators would and just as serious as your own, wanting to see your own progress, wanting to see your own self get better. So there's a lot coming out of Ann Arbor, and a lot's going to be on Kyle Whittingham, whoever he hires as a quarterback coach. Josh Beck, and then how good does Bryce Underwood want to be? Because in the offseason, you know, unfortunately, a lot is going to be asked of you, so you got to step it up. Are you going to get better? Do you want to do it yourself, or are you going to make the excuse that it's the coaches?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Andrew Marsh switching his number before the bowl game, just mid-season like that? Is that unorthodox, or is that just like you can just do that?
We don't have enough time for you to explain what you feel about the number 1, huh?
No. We don't even have to talk about that. Like, we don't have that. We'll save that for next year. We'll see if McCollum transfers, if there's a number 1. I see they all transfer once given that number. I wonder why. I'm not gonna say anything about it. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything about it because this is the era we live in. Like the era we live in, to where I wouldn't have cared about changing the number legitimately before a bowl game as the season's about to end, and it doesn't mean anything anyway. Like, it's just not where my head was at. But now, hey, I want to get a new jersey. I want the look. I want this, that, and the third. This is the era that we live in. I just have a problem because it seems you're more focused on a jersey change than necessarily, the game itself. Yeah. But he went out there, caught a touchdown. The plays that were there for him to make, he made them. So it's one of those things that's like,
Bray, let me get into your head as a former All-Pro wide receiver, as the best wide receiver in Big Ten history, best Michigan wide receiver ever.
Hey, he should be in the Big Ten Hall of Fame.
He should be in the College Sports Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
That's what you're not in, though, right? I was going to end with that. The College Football Hall of Fame. For some reason, the Big Ten's best wide receiver is not in. We got a problem there. But, Braylon, I want to ask about your mental. Picture yourself in 2009. Season's out of reach. It's week 18. The fans are clamoring for you, Mark Sanchez, Thomas Jones, rest in peace Nick Mangold, Alex Faneca, DeBrickashaw Ferguson, to sit. The game doesn't mean anything. What's going through your head? What kind of mentality would you have as that wide receiver playing in a week 18 game that technically doesn't mean anything? What would it mean to you?
But it does. Like, for me, how I would look at the situation is I guarantee this is how St. Brown is looking at the situation, some of the other players on the Lions. Like, the Detroit Lions, as a whole organization, they let down themselves, first of all, because their goal was Super Bowl. Their goal was to get back to where they had gotten to and then take the next step. Their goal was a Super Bowl. Brad told us that. Dan told us that. The players have told us that. Jared Goff has told us that. So, knowing that that was our goal and we fell short, whether you want to blame coaching, players, refs, whoever you choose to blame, it's all on us. We let our fans down. I don't want to pass up an opportunity to put a better taste in my fan base, my city, and even our team morale. I don't want to miss up an opportunity for that. And what I mean by that is, you know how everyone feels about Ben Johnson. You know how you feel about the Bears. You know how this whole situation is. For the Detroit Lions, I would legitimately go out here this Sunday. I would start my players. I would play if I was to start. I'm like, hey, look, coach, I don't care what you got going on. I don't care what the owner says. I don't care what the analytics says. I don't care what the money people say. I'm going to play, and I'm going to put it all on the line because, like St. Brown said, you guys have paid us. You guys have put us in position to give everything we have for the city, for this organization, and this game that we love. It is a game. I'm going out there and I'm putting it to the metal. Because I understand that I played a part in this year, you know what I'm saying, in terms of where the Lions didn't get to, where they don't have an opportunity to. So I don't want to, the last thing the fans remember about the 2025 season, 1, it was a letdown. 2, we didn't make the plays in the games that mattered. 3, it just seems like we were all over the place. 4, we took a step back. And 5, at the end of the season with a chance to, you know what, let's just go out on a good note. I chose to say, no, I'm cool. I'm going to sit out and let the 2s and 3s and 4s play this game against an interdivisional rival who we have a lot in common with right now. I just don't see sitting down. Like, that's not the kind of message that I would want to send after a season like this. Like, this was a season, it's not a ref blame season. You know what I'm saying? Like, This isn't an injury blame season. Like, this is a season you guys just did not get it done. Like, coaches didn't get it done. Players didn't get it done. And that's why we're 8-8 and we're fighting to finish over 500. This game means more than just not making the playoffs and all we. Like, you're showing
what a great
that
perspective.
I want 500. I want to finish a certain way. I want the fan base to realize, no, this means something to me. Like, no. I'm not settling for making it to the playoffs twice, making it to the NFC Championship twice, getting paid, and now no. It still means as much to me as it did when I got drafted in the 4th round, and I can remember the other 16 guys drafted ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
what a great perspective.
So that's how I would look at this game. Like, I played on a bunch of teams when the Browns were, we're playing game 16, which is now 17. We're playing game 16 with nothing on the line. but it was my spirit, it's my pride, it's what I got paid to do.
Still
The
gonna
fan
push.
base
Fight.
that shows up. So
All right, Bray,
that's
last
how I
question.
look at it. I would play.
Last question for you, and that perspective is great because I feel like it seems the majority of fans and those commenting and on social media want nobody to play, concede, go get the schedule. You went viral, one of our top 15 clips, less than a month ago, December 3rd, where you're talking. Actually, you asked the question: was the identity Dan Campbell or the shirtless guy in Chicago? What's your take as we end this conversation? The directions that the Lions and the Bears should go. Should Lions fans be real worried about what's going down?
They should be worried, yes. Like whenever you start in a situation like the Lions did, where you have this meteoric rise, obviously we know that I don't have to go through the stats, but when you go from NFC Championship to then 15-2 number one record, but losing the second round for you, but your first game because you had a bye, and then this year not make the playoffs and be off season, you look at your GM and your coach telling you in various spaces that, let's just say me, I look at I don't think they're necessarily as good as they think they are, but they're good. They went into the season believing that they had the roster to win a Super Bowl. That's negligent because that's not that wasn't the case. There was some, as we see now, there were some spaces where they needed some help, whether it was at the DB position, whether it was on the O line, whether it was the rush edge side. I know El Qadim Muhammad I know he ended up with double-digit sacks, but it's one thing to get double-digit sacks in games that don't necessarily matter versus can you also play the run? And that was an issue for him. He can't play the run as well as the pass. So in the off-season, looking at Dan and looking at Brad, I would say I would be a little bit worried. Now, the window closing and all this and all that, you still have players, not a couple. You still have guys that check the boxes. You still have guys that are elite at their position or closing in. They could potentially be elite at that position. So you got some guys that you got enough. They have to take it serious. Dan Campbell is a great motivator. Dan Campbell is a great culture builder. Dan Campbell is the head coach. Dan Campbell's not one of those Sean Payton head coaches where I can be the head coach and the offensive coordinator. He's not a Sean McVay where I'm a wizard with the offensive play calling, and oh, by the way, I can coach too. Dan's a hell of a coach who's learning how to be a head coach. He can't take on the offensive play calling as well. You got to go recruit a guy. Like, you got to recruit a guy, just like we were talking about Michigan in terms of what the coach will look like down the line after you kind of get your program back on track, per se. Michigan is one of those programs, like, you can't just lose a Jim Harbaugh. Regardless of what you think about Jim Harbaugh, he's an icon, and he was an icon in NCAA landscaping for the last couple of years and probably in the last 25 or 30. You can't just replace him with the next guy. Same thing with Ben Johnson. There was not a lot of credit given to how masterful of an offensive coordinator that he developed into.
Guilty.
It was, we can figure it out. The identity is Dan Campbell. Well, the players belong to us. I mean, yeah, we help, but yeah, it happened. No, you have to give more credit. Replacing Ben Johnson is not just like, we'll get a new offensive coordinator, we'll figure it out. We can get this. No. When you have
Oh boy,
Hey,
did we lose him?
Unfortunately, our 2:30 guest just came in and kicked him out.
No!
Cooking.
We got
out to the brother Braylon,
great
man.
guest coming out. He was making a fantastic point. We got to give Braylon his flowers, man.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we're gonna get him back up here.
Oh no, you got him back.
We're back.
Go.
There you go.
So to have that, it's negligent than to not hire somebody that can get the best out of those players. To get an offensive coordinator that understands what you have. I got Sam Laporta, I have Jameson Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, I have Jared Goff, who can really get it cracking, get it going. You know what I'm saying? Play zone, especially with the running game. He's the number one pass. He's the number one play action quarterback in the NFL for 3 years, the whole 9 yards. Get yourself an offensive coordinator whose job is just to worry about those 11 guys. Those 11 guys. Like, that's what you got to do. And on the defense side of the ball, yeah, you want to move on from Kelvin Shepard, I'm fine. Somebody has to be the scapegoat, and that's cool. That's business. But no matter who you hire defensive coordinator, You better bring in some weapons. You better give him some weapons. You better give him some weapons at linebacker. You better give him some weapons at DB. And you better bring in another Russian who also can play the run. Because if you don't give him those weapons, and if you make it about Jack Campbell and how good Aiden Hudson is, you'll see this season happen again. So it doesn't matter that you want to move on from Kelvin Shepherd. That's fine. But give whoever is going to be the next DC, give them some weapons. Give them more weapons, I should say.
I love that.
I
Braylon,
love that, man.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
man.
Bray.
Always a pleasure talking to you. Happy New Year.
Love you, bro.
I love you guys too, man. You know what time it is, man. I'll see you tomorrow. And happy, hey, and also too, let me say this out to the chat. Chat, we appreciate you guys. I texted in, but I'll say it now that you guys can see me. There is no Woodward Sports Network without the chat. There is no Big D Energy. There is no Sean Baligian Morning Show. There is no Braylon Edwards. There is no Heavyweights. There's no network without you guys, man. We appreciate you guys for tapping in every day from 8 to 7. You make it happen. You make our job worth it. We come in and we want to put on the best show, the best energy, even when it's tough, like this year, even when it's tough. Thank God for the Pistons, and the Red Wings. But we do it for you, and we appreciate you. Even the ones that, even the chats that go against us or all the jokes, I don't care. Just come. You come to the network, say what you want. As long as it's within the lines of respect, we respect you and we appreciate you. Thank you, and I hope you guys have a blessed 2026.
Let's go, man. That's the man, Braylon Edwards, right there. And there was a lot of support for Braylon being either mayor of Detroit, being something in the state of Michigan, or they ask him, is he going to get into coaching? I know that on the Braylon Edwards show with Shep, he did reveal he is taking a look into that, but he's going to start at the high school level. We can really teach and train up that next generation.
He's a great man.
Like that, man. It would be great to see him in that capacity.
A great man for young men to learn from.
Go.
And I believe will be a great coach. I know how he knows the game.
Elite ball
Just the way he talks and you look up to him. He was athletically, I looked up to him coming up as a receiver. I'm like, oh, Braylon Edwards. It was Braylon, Charles Rogers. It was that era of wide receivers I love, but Braylon was that dude. Getting to know him, look up to him in a totally different way as a human being. Just treating everyone with respect. We could talk about Braylon and how egregious it is that he's not in the College Football Hall of Fame. Doesn't make any sense.
Make it happen.
I think we need to do a Woodward Sports, Anson's in the chat, a Woodward Sports, like, year-long, what's the word? Get him into the Hall of Fame, like, right now.
We need a year-long campaign.
Campaign.
There you go.
Campaign. Pop the champagne with the campaign. Let's go.
Rock.
We got another guest real quick to get to. As we're coming down the final stretch of the
Jared
show.
Goff's biggest fan?
Yeah, honestly, this is one of my favorite personalities. We go at it about one player, but Easy knows a lot about all the sports. He's very.
This is T Foss.
What?
T Foss is out there.
We got T. We got Uncle.
Yeah, he's having a little technical difficulties right now.
Easy or Unk? Easy or Unk?
Unk.
Okay. We'll hang tight till he figures it out. I do love Easy, but because Braylon brought it up, I'm gonna roll with one thought here. Then we'll pivot to T-Foss, and I think we should end with Pistons and Red Wings, as well as Stick coming on later.
Shout out to Stick, man.
Calvin Shepherd. There's been a lot of talk about replacing him with Brian Flores. Like doesn't have a contract at the moment with Minnesota next year. It's a controversial thing. I'm down to give Calvin Shepherd more time, at least the next year to approve it. But how about this connection? It's not going to be perfect, but roll with me, Kool-Aid.
Talk to me.
Calvin Shepherd and Jared Goff in L.A. Goff, over a couple seasons, Goff had some early success and then ran into some struggles, confidence, turnovers in that last year in L.A., which caused the Rams to go out and make the trade for Matthew Stafford. Calvin Shepherd had a lot of early success this year with a top 10 scoring defense and with doing it in ways we maybe didn't expect. But then the veteran OCs and head coaches came in and really showed him. It was a masterclass on dominating the defense. I want Shep to get more time, but the Lions don't necessarily have time yet. So if you want to go and get the best DC on the market, a veteran, someone who can help Dan Campbell, help that offense, he can help scout and reshape that offensive line based on what he wants to do in his experience as a defensive coordinator, you might want to consider bringing him in because we need a Super Bowl now. Not because Shep can't he can't eventually be a good defensive coordinator. The Rams, they needed a Super Bowl that moment. Not that they couldn't develop Goff over the next 2-3 years.
No, they put everything into Super Bowl now, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not a shot at what Goff could have been. What he was at that time wasn't good enough, and they needed to bring in the veteran with 10 years of experience, win or loss in Detroit, to come help get him over the hump. Goff still could have been good. We'll never know. It's an interesting thought of when you pull the trigger. The timing of it all is – I love Shep. I don't want to lose him, but the timing of it all, you might need to. If you can get Flores, go get him. Rams, if you can get Stafford, go get him because you want Super Bowl now.
And I think that it ultimately boils down to some of what you were talking about earlier with Goff and this offensive line. We know what Goff needs to be, and he needs to have that offensive line. If you're not going to do it, then maybe it's time to move in a different direction. So if you're not going to make sure that Kelvin Shepard as defensive coordinator can, take advantage of some of the things that Aaron Glenn had, like Aaron Glenn, he had his ball hawks out there. He had his turnover machines out there. Kelvin Shepard didn't necessarily have that on this defense. So Aaron Glenn was getting torched between the 20s. Yeah. But in the red zone, we know having a Kirby Joseph back there, a healthy Kirby Joseph, made a huge difference for him because during that time that Aaron Glenn was defensive coordinator, I believe that Kirby Joseph led the league in interceptions.
Yeah.
And so that makes a huge difference. So I want to see Kelvin Shepard here because I know when they needed it, he played a big role in them being able to overcome a lot of those injuries last year, but they still had those ball hawks. So I would like to see them go out there, get him some talent, and I do believe he is the guy. But if they can't do that, and you're sitting here talking about Super Bowl or bust window, that's where what you're talking about in the picture you painted is one that I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to stand at this picture just a little bit longer at the DIA. I like that outlook because we're talking about a Super Bowl. It's no longer about building the program. If we're at the beginning of this, if we had to make a pivot and we had a guy in-house, you think they have been raising these in-house people for a few years now. If it doesn't work in year one, that they have the helm of your Super Bowl year, I understand maybe looking at and making some drastic changes.
I think we get T. Foss's perspective on it.
T. Foss in the new year.
Is Mr. Terry Foster, you out there on the line?
No, he went into our group chat to talk. He's back. All right.
I'm not going to start a new segment until we get T. Foss on.
Let's go, T.
Here's T. Foss.
I was having so many problems getting on here, but here I am. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year, brother.
And Happy Martin Luther King Day.
Hey, in advance, huh? I like that.
Absolutely.
I like that. T. Foss, how you feeling on this New Year's, man? You didn't get anything crazy last night, did you?
No, man, my New Year's, I was hanging out.
He's making up
and I was at home by 5 p.m.
This is why T. Foss still got his eyes really on the screen.
No,
I wonder what he got into last night.
Everyone's favorite uncle, the FaceTime, it has to be nose and below.
I love this.
We're perfect. T, it's been such a great year doing the show with you every Sunday. You've been a fixture on Big D Energy on Mondays and Fridays. What stood out to you in 2025 among any of the teams or the stories associated with Detroit?
Being on Big D Energy, I guess the thing that stands out to me that Neil is a fool. So let's get that out the way. But you know what? There's a phrase that I use to describe Detroit sports in 2025, and I'm afraid it's going to continue in 2026. Warning track power. Just good enough to be good enough.
Wow. That's a bar.
Nothing spectacular, and I don't see teams trying to take that next jump. There's a disconnect between the fans and the teams. These teams think that they can sustain success, they can be good, and they're not striving for excellence. That's what I see.
I love it. Are you optimistic or pessimistic? Are you optimistic or pessimistic moving into 2026? Which team is going to define Detroit sports in 2026?
I'm pessimistic because there doesn't seem to be any urgency, and I don't think there's going to be that pushback from fans that say, "Hey, you got to do this." And so if that pushback is not there, I just think the teams would do the old okey doke.
Yeah.
For instance, let me give you the Detroit Tigers. I have a philosophy with the Tigers. The Tigers never have to be excellent. If the Tigers are good and just come out and play hard and try to win as many ball games as possible, that's good enough for Tiger fans. They don't. I don't think everybody wants to win a championship, but I don't think that's a top of mind for Tiger fans. They want to go out and enjoy the ballpark, have their beers and hot dogs and whatever else they have in there, and they're cool with that.
You think it was fake rage out of the Tigers fans this year? They just want their Scooble, and they'll be good, T-Foss?
If they sign Scooble, but you know what? They have to do better than that. They have to sign Scooble and surround him with the team. I think people will be fine with that. But I think your hardcore Tiger fans, if they sign Scooble and don't surround him with better players, they're going to be pissed. But I'm talking about the casual Tiger fans we don't hear about, the ones that go to the ballpark, the ones that just buy the jerseys and don't listen to sports talk radio, don't listen to Woodward Sports. They'll be good with that. The ones that are going to be mad are the ones that are listening to shows, calling in the shows, and they'll want more than that. But they're not going to get that from the Tigers. And I keep saying this over and over and over again. Nobody believes me. Tigers are not serious. They're not serious about winning.
Sheesh. Hey, you know what, T-Foss, that leads me to ask you just this question, because we've been kicking around all show. Who is your villain of the year? Because he throwing heat at the Tigers right now, and I wonder if his is going to match up with a lot of the people in the chat who believe Brad Holmes deserves to be in that conversation too. But the Tigers, man, you talk about an epic collapse.
Chris Illich, Scott Harris.
Any of the players?
Javi Baez.
Ooh.
Who's your villain in 2025?
I can't put Brad Holmes there because I've been covering or following this team for 6 decades. This is the best I've ever seen it. And I understand people's frustrations. You wanted him to get an edge rusher and fortify that offensive line. He has flaws. He needs to be criticized. But I'm not going to call him the villain of the year because he got this team into a position that I've never seen it in before. My villain is Chris Illich because all the things we criticize Scott Harris for, I think Scott Harris has to do certain things that keep him employed, that keeps that he can only do so much. Because I think Chris Illich has got a rope on him.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? We've talked about the villain a lot, and I think a lot of people have this one player, Cade Cunningham, probably atop their hero list if you want to talk about 2025. But if you can, let's break down those Pistons just for a little bit. Number 1 seed right now. You were one of the first ones, T. Foster, tell me before the Detroit Lions went out there and got that NFC North title, that first one. You said they are for real, lock it in. Talk to me about these Detroit Pistons, because there's some people believe that they're good, but they're not number 1 seed good, that their expectations different. I've liked what I've heard from our WSN hosts, and they've said it boldly. They believe that this Detroit Pistons team will be playing for a chance to get to the Eastern Conference Championship or maybe even represent the East in the NBA Championship. What should the people be believing as it relates to the Detroit Pistons?
Well, that is a possibility. I can't set that in stone right now because it's still too early in the season. Here's what we need to do. We need to study and see what happens in the next 3 weeks of the NBA season, because in my dealings with the NBA, something strange happens in the first 3 weeks of January. Some teams just completely disappear, and particularly younger teams, because they've already played like 30 or 40 games. They look up and we still got 50 to go, and mentally they can't handle it. Now some teams thrive off of that. They just start going. So now I think from now until January 27th, let's see where the Pistons team goes. And I think that's going to give you a better idea of if this team is serious or not.
I like that.
If we're talking about the Pistons being top 2, top 3 teams, February 1st. I'm all in.
That's right. And you know what?
All in, bro.
And just one more from me as it relates to these teams that we hope can join the Detroit Pistons in that sun. What's one thing you're giving to the Detroit Lions or you're doing for them in 2026 to make sure that they can come through on those expectations? At least playoffs and winning some games. At least being kings of the North again, T-Foss. What's that one thing that they got to get right for 2026?
Something that I said on Big D Energy. You got to get Brad home a pair of Gators. And what I mean by that is he needs to be, I'm here, I'm going to spin, I'm thinking about today, I'm not thinking about tomorrow. I got my Gators on. What you going to do with me? Nothing, because I'm a bad MF. That's what I need. I need to see attitude from Brad Holmes, and it can't just be the fans are stupid, the media is stupid, I know what I'm doing. He needs that one word, urgency.
Sheesh.
Gator boots with the pimped out Gucci suit.
That's a word.
Ain't got no job.
Because
urgency, baby.
We were just talking about all 4 sports teams percolating. Are we going to get all 4 into the playoffs? Things of that nature. Urgency, I believe, is a thing that has sunk probably the Lions and the Tigers. Maybe even some people say the Red Wings.
Yeah.
They had opportunities. They put up some good showings most of the seasons just to fizzle out towards the end. I remember one year they actually made a good push, and they just missed out. So I'm wondering how much the urgency matters or if they're waiting for that right time to push that pedal. That's a good word by T.
Yeah, urgency. Urgency, also the word we got to use for you all in the chat watching. Hit that like button. Urgency. We're almost at 100K subscribers. What, we got about 400 left?
600 left.
600 left?
99,403 the last time we checked.
Insane. Part of the reason for that is Woodward Sports has been able to have guys like Terry Foster, legends in this industry, not just help us, guys like you and me grow, guys like Justin and everyone who's come before us because of T-Foss. I enjoy doing a show with him. I know Steve-O baby enjoys T-Foss because he says, Broder, someone has to be a bad guy at Woodward Sports. Can I say something? Yeah, sure. That was unintentional, but that was the most perfect flip-flop ever.
Hey, we got an early flip-flop of the year candidate for 2026. I don't even know what happened. It was T. Foster's voice. It was his face. And then it's easy doing some type of spirit dance to start the new year.
I want to say Happy New Year. Did we lose T-Foss?
We lost T-Foss, yeah.
Happy New Year, T-Foss. You're a legend, man.
Happy New Year, brother.
Real quick before we talk to Easy, Steve-O Baby says, Broder, someone has to be a bad guy at Woodward Sports, and it's Terry Foster. And I love it, especially when he talks about the Lions' downfall. Terry just takes a different perspective. We got to love that man for it.
I love T-Foss, man. You're right to call out all of the work he does behind the scenes to mentor and to work with all of us. And to honestly, it goes a long way when you hear someone like T-Foss tell yourself, like, hey, no, you guys got it.
Yeah.
You guys are doing the thing.
Keep going.
Pushing. Like, that stuff goes a long way. So shout out to the legend T-Foss. I know he's going to have a great New Year.
From one legend to another legend, decades apart in birth. Truly one of my favorite personalities.
Just kicked Easy out.
Easy, Happy New Year. What's up, dude?
I think
it might be T.
Did we lose him too?
He said T-Foss kicked Easy out.
Yeah, let me.
Okay, cool. Hey,
they keep battling for the V-Mix link.
Whatever we're gonna do. He was. What I do. I talked to him a lot about the Lions. When he responded,
we got Easy now.
About the Pistons, it's great. Forget that. Let's talk Easy.
Let's do that. You know what? We talk about Woodward Sports and where it started, and I know that the first show I was a part of was a Speak Easy podcast. Man, my guy Easy, he pulled together a nice cast.
Hello, fools!
Shout out, dog. Happy New Year to my brother.
Happy New Year, Holmes.
Gotta be careful, man.
Easy, how you doing this morning? How was your New Year's Eve, and how was this last year?
This last year was crazy. Crazy last year. But
heavyweights to the moon.
Horizon. Yeah, heavyweights to the moon. Pistons, Red Wings to the moon. Maybe the Tigers. I don't know what's going on there. I don't think they know what's going on there. But Yeah, and hopefully the Lions bounce back too. But 2025 was a hell of a ride.
Yeah, you know, you talk about 2025 being a hell of a ride. It's a lot of expectations. I know that even though our teams didn't quite meet it, going into 2026, I'm not too down on our teams. I know there's stuff that I want to see them do right, but, you know, I asked T. Foss this, and Easy, I'll ask you this too, man, just to kick things off. What's one thing you're adding to the Detroit Lions or doing for them to make sure that expectation is met in this next season?
Offensive line.
Shout out to the little man, by the way.
Offensive line. Like, I think they're gonna have to sign somebody in free agency at the center position, and then in this draft class, it's top heavy with some offensive line talent. So, I think Maui Goa is. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it officially, but that's how I'm pronouncing it. The kid out of Miami, he was phenomenal last night.
I like
Arvell
him.
Reese was nowhere to be seen, but you saw a lot of Maui Goa out there too. So if you grab him, he can play both guard or tackle. If you grab somebody at center, I think we got to protect that $69 million investment in Jared Goff.
Hey, talk of $69 million, nice. But I saw you was getting excited about it on Facebook, man. What did you tweet out about it? I saw it even hit Woodward Sports too.
What about Maui Goa?
Yeah, if we draft him.
Hey, we gotta get him here, man. We gotta get him.
I was the first one to. I was the first. I told you about Maui Goa.
Shout out to Mr.
You may
Collins.
have made it public first, but I told you about Maui Goa.
Listen, I wasn't listening then, brother.
Yeah, you were still coping.
I was still coping. Listen, I was having an actual breakdown earlier this week, and I smoked a little something, calmed myself down, dove into the draft class, and this kid's got me excited. There's one more guy ahead of him. Is Fanu from Utah, but he's not going to be within our selection range. So I jumped right into Maui Goa.
Man, yeah, I'm hoping everything gets right with the Detroit Lions. I did not expect them at all to miss the playoffs. And Easy, I got to ask you this because I've seen a lot of people, a lot more than would actually make me comfortable, say that Brad Holmes deserves to be in the villain of the year conversation. Easy, you're not shy of controversy. Talk to me about this.
Brad Holmes is a effing villain of 2025, without a doubt. And it hurts, but that's what makes him even more of a villain. That's what makes him even more of a villain, right? You have to love somebody to truly hate him at some point. And I don't hate Brad Holmes, but it's just like, I don't know. Everyone says have faith in Brad Holmes, have faith in Brad Holmes. Okay, I'll have faith in Brad Holmes because we all saw the offensive line deficiencies, or at least we're nervous about the offensive line deficiencies. We've been begging for somebody opposite Vada Hudson for 3 years now, and we just kept the faith in Brad Holmes. We went in blindly, like, you know what? We got Davenport. Brad likes Davenport. I like Davenport. And then this year happened. And so, oh, damn. Well, that faith is getting a little shaky now. Brad Holmes is the villain of 2025, without a doubt.
Wow, no hesitation, bro.
No hesitation.
And I know he's just saying that's not like his he's not anti-Brad Holmes. Just from 2025, the things he said and what this team did not deliver on, hey, he's up that list, and for Easy, he's number one. How about this, though? You brought up the Pistons.
Hero of the year.
Correct
Pistons.
me. Say fair or foul, agree or disagree. How much does this line hit you, Easy? The Detroit Pistons are further along in their championship window right now than the Detroit Lions are.
It hits me like a line of like actual drugs. I mean, it's trippy. It's trippy to like hear. It's even when I watch the Pistons, it's trippy to see them win the way they're doing. Because you dreamed of that stuff. I've dreamed of that stuff. I mean, Kool-Aid, we've been on Kate Cunningham since before we even got the number 1 overall pick. It's wild, honestly. My brain really hasn't even like gathered that information and like deemed it as reality yet. It's a weird experience, which is even crazier to say because the Pistons are the only team that I ever like watched win a championship live. I know the Red Wings won a ton when I was younger, but I didn't really watch hockey then. But it's just I don't know. It's weird.
It's crazy, especially after 15 years of just kind of lifeless basketball. Even when you make the playoffs and it's still just like, man, it's like, so to see what they're doing right now, it's what Easy is saying. There was a lot of, okay, logically this should happen and we put that stuff out there on wax, but to see them doing it after 31 wins combined, the two prior seasons before this, it was historic. The third and the first worst seasons in Pistons history back-to-back. 28-game losing streak, Cade Cunningham, and people questioning him. You think about in this league where we've seen some fragile people, And we just heard Rich Paul talk about Ben Simmons and the fact that maybe he just loved what he had and didn't love that more than the game. Cade and these guys love this game, and I love the fact that, you know what? They're here trying to do it the Detroit way, man.
They're on a mission, and it's scary. If the playoffs started tomorrow, which team do you believe would win their first-round playoff matchup? It's scary to think. You're probably more confident in the Pistons, and that's wild. But it's true. It's true.
I'm speechless because it's like, whoa, like almost like easy, no hesitation. It's like the Pistons. And I had to stop myself because it's like, wait, you can't say that.
But they've arrived.
They have arrived, man. And you know what? Just like Easy of the heavyweights, and Easy, I got to ask you, man, did you do anything? What'd you do? I'm not even going to ask him if he did anything crazy. Easy, what craziness did you get into for New Year's Eve? Look at his face.
Spring and I went to a local establishment out in the Birmingham Royal Oak area, and with the intentions of having dinner and a few drinks. And the bartender, we were having fun. She told us karaoke was coming, and I was like, you know what, Spinny, I do got another 20 minutes in me.
Let's go.
And then somebody ordered a couple more drinks, and then we scared the old whites of Royal Oak. We sang like Kendrick Lamar.
Before we let you go, you got to tell us what song you sang.
We sang "Backseat Freestyle" by Kendrick Lamar.
I wish I was
awesome.
there.
Of course, you would karaoke a freestyle rap.
I love this.
I tried signing Spinny up to sing "Men in Black," but then he called me.
Men in Black. I know there are levels to that joke between you and Spenny. That how do we preface the show? We're not meant to demean. This is not of sexual nature. All of that. But Easy, man, it was a great 2025. We're excited for everything you are going to be doing here in 2026. A staple of this network as we near 100K. Any last words for the chat, for the fans of Woodward Sports?
Chat, I love you guys. I would not be here living my dream if it weren't for you. Broder, Justin, Kool-Aid, I love you guys as well.
Love you,
obviously, you're part of that dream. It's kind of crazy. We all have this common dream. That's the cool part about this, man. We all have that same dream of doing what we're doing right now. And we just teamed up and we're making it happen. And we're not, not all of us have won Stanley Cups. Not all of us have Blitnikoff Awards or the Golden Voice, but you got all of us, the us, I guess. You know what I'm saying? The guys that don't have that, we make this bitch roll. And I'm proud to have you guys on my team. I love you guys. Happy New Year. And chat,
love you, Easy.
Love you, brother. Goodness
love you,
gracious.
Easy.
What a way to start the new year.
Hitting the new year, it's hard to not think of the heavyweights, of like the guys like them. When New Year's come, you got to be prepared to do things different. Yeah. They're always going to not push the boundaries, push the envelope forward.
Be authentically them. I think that's what I've learned from everybody here. Whether it's people helping me in the professional craft, if it's people helping me in the personal craft, or just seeing how different people go out of their way to support. And heavyweights have been one of those guys I've seen stand up for many people here, including myself, and advocate. There was a time where my voice, I wasn't as loud as I am now, and some people still think you need to be louder. So there were times when Spinny and Easy were that voice for me, man. So I trust me, a lot of respect to them.
Yeah, hey, I got my first start. They had me in the sound booth and just sitting in and watching them. They gave me a lot of opportunity, those guys. Proud to work with them. They're going to keep moving forward. Also, we do have Stick on the line. We're going to get to. He's going to be our final
the
guest.
Godfather.
I think he might be addressing the Woodward Nation. But the heavyweights wouldn't be allowed on ESPN. That's why they're on our network. We don't need them on ESPN. We're doing things different, and I want to listen to them and how they talk about my Lions or my Red Wings and Pistons and Tigers. Whether I agree with their takes or not, I want to listen to them versus Stephen A. and Skip and the guys who are pulling clickbait from headlines and thinking they know what's going on in our city.
And I love the way that the heavyweights will get out into the middle of the city, just like some of other street team people, and they will go and interact with the fans, man. I love it. Like, in terms of what we're able to do here at Woodward Sports Network and crafting this thing alongside the chat family and the different fans of the pro teams here, that's been one of the most epic things to be a part of. The NFL draft here in Detroit, which set a record, and knowing that we were one of those broadcast teams down there, one of those people adding to the hype of the day, one of those people getting down there and talking to and interacting with people from all over. That's epic to see, man. And when you think about the heavyweights and the role, you talk about a big 2025, they moved into a role where they found themselves doing a lot of remote shows for the network, a lot of them. And they crushed them for sponsors, for watch parties, and that type of stuff. You definitely tip the cap to some guys who are batting, as far as I'm concerned, 1,000.
Yeah, all possible from the guy we have joining us next. Stick, real quick, a couple super chats to clean up. Get your super chats in. We're wrapping up the show here with our leader here day to day. So many people are involved, and we'll shout that out later. But Rando Smalls, $5 super chat, Rando. Bray, is it just me, or is yesterday Blair the guy who we wanted to see all year? Talking about the Michigan game, the quarterbacking. Rando Smalls, always a legend. $2 super chat he finished up. Still have all the faith in Brad and Dan.
Oh, let's go then.
Other one, I ain't say that for $5. We need someone to carry Kool-Aid and Broder on their shoulders while singing. Well, he's a jolly good fellow. Let's go. 2026 will be 2026 will be the year of the D. Pause. I ain't say that.
The year of the D.
We appreciate you. A couple more minutes to get your final super chats in. If you could hit the like button, that'd be great. Even better if you can share the chat so others can come join the party. But
that's right.
It all started because of Stick, Joey, Adam, Anson. I hear the story of Stick starting. I'll let him tell it. Started in his car, in his basement. He wants to talk about Detroit sports and Detroit sports only. And I'm sitting here today because of him.
Same here. Same here. You talk about a guy who has a passion not just for sports in this area, but doing great for people, helping people achieve and see their dreams. And I'm grateful for the ideas. I'm grateful for the execution that he's brought to this thing. And ultimately, the opportunities it's provided for all of us. And why? Because our dream is to cover sports. But who knew that you were going to find a band of brothers, as tough as this one here? And so I do, man, for everything that Stick has brought to this, along with the investments and the leadership of Chad. Man, it's been an amazing time. I couldn't have dreamed of this. Like, you talking about dream jobs. I'm Pistons tonight. I'm going to be front and center. I'm going to be in the press conference representing Woodward Sports and our Chad family in that. Like, that type of stuff is huge, and it's things that you can only dream of. And this company, Woodward Sports, helped to become all possible.
It's everything. Let's welcome him in. Sam Stick Day. Stick, Happy New Year, man.
Love you, bro.
Happy New Year, fellas. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I know you've probably celebrated in your time many different ways on New Year's Eve. Home life's a little different for you now. Did you have a good one? Did you do anything different than you did growing up?
I mean, the only thing different now is with the kids, we put on a fake ball drop about 8:30, tell them it's midnight, put their ass to bed, and then me and the wife have the rest of the evening to just kind of watch a movie, drink some stuff, and have a good night. So, no more in the club, no more counting down in front of 10,000 people, just me and the family, the two girls, and, a fake Bluey countdown on YouTube. What else could you ask for?
Right.
Shout out to Dad Stick, man. That was one of the greatest things. It was awesome.
Yeah. Stick, looking back on this past year and take it any direction you want to go, what do you think of the network and what we did and or our teams in 2025? Give us your take.
It's just a continuation of the absolute blob that is Woodward Sports. Like early on when people tried to ask me about the growth of this network and where I saw us going and how we're getting there, the term blob is what I came up with, because it wasn't like, hey, we're growing on one single platform and it's as a linear thing. It's like, no, we're growing like this. We're an amoeba. We're all over the place. We're over here. We're over here. We're over here. We're over here. And the blob just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But, honestly, the biggest thing I've taken away from this year is all the big dogs copy us now. And they're doing a piss poor job at it, but they're trying. They're trying with what they have. Debbie Kenyon's trying to get 97.1 the ticket into a digital lane, but she just can't do it because she doesn't really have vision. But they're trying, and it's cute. And I love that a bunch of us dudes that just off the street. Broder, you didn't have a broadcasting background. I met you playing softball. Kool-Aid, I met you through a friend because of you just covering shit on Twitter. Easy had his podcast. He came in to help us with our YouTube. Spenny walked in off the fucking street to a big boy. just to say I want to work here, and then we sprinkle in the pros like Neil Rule, Shep. You bring in a Braylon, a D-Mac, who's the heart of the whole organization. It's just young guns like Justin coming in, and like sometimes when the energy gets low, you get a shot in the arm with a Justin, and everybody gets going again. We got the new sales team, like just honestly, like just how we are the fucking standard in the city, and it should be that way because we're the only ones actually with boots on the ground in the city.
Gosh, man. Hey, you know what? Somebody just got to say as well. Shout out to Brady.
Oh, yeah, Brady.
I forgot about Brady. Yeah. Shout
and
out to Brady.
Fish.
And Fish.
Yeah, there have been so many great people come through these doors.
That's why.
Jeff, Booner, Lucas. I mean, like it's crazy. Corey Woods, who has evolved into probably one of the greatest reporters in Detroit right now. So shout out Corey. When we started the morning show with Corey, he was working on his speech. He had a concussion, and he was trying to get through some things. And now look at him. He's doing like interviews with Dan Campbell. So proud of Corey, and even T-Foss, man. Like when T-Foss, I reached out to T-Foss because he wrote an article about how 97.1 did him wrong, and like when he had his stroke, they just kind of treated him like trash and like, hey, you can't talk no more, get the fuck off the air, we got no need for you. Instead of like being like, dude, this is the Godfather, let's work through him, give him some shifts. And Terry will tell you, his doctor told him that Woodward helps him and helped him get back to his mental cognitive state because he was able to think on the spot and think faster and like deliver more. So like to me, it's not even about the winning. It's about like that personal shit right there. Like what Woodward's meant to Terry and what Terry's meant to us is just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, Stick. James Reth in the chat says, authenticity and being genuine will never fail. Stay strong. Freddie Felt said, I'll fight Mike Valenti for charity. James Reth.
I believe Freddie, too.
Yeah, right? Right. Freddie.
He's a real one.
A real one, a true Detroit fan. Like the fans that I think Stick envisioned when starting this network. Give people like Freddie a voice to sound off. Coming from Pontiac, sound off on his teams.
Like, that's what I love about this platform, Stick. Like, Freddie Felt was showing up to our remotes at the beginning at Hamlin Pub and like, I'm just here to support. And I'm like, oh, sweet, man. So you can come to the next one? He's like, I'm in Indiana. I'm like, what are you doing here? And then at away events, he's like, hey, I'm going to this event. I got you guys on content. That type of stuff, like that impact. Because Stick always talks about it. Yes, we're here to cover sports, but it's really about being an extension of the people that we're covering it for, and to be able to include them in that. This platform is for the people. It truly is for Detroit sports fans, for the great people of the state of Michigan, and it's made by people from right here. That's what I love about it. And Stick was, I believe, very meticulous about that, the identity of the people that he's bringing in, because it is a team here. It is a family here. And I'm grateful to Stick, man, for this vision, for the idea, for bringing in the different people you have. For pitching everything and getting the necessary investment and even higher leadership in here. And now look at Woodward Sports.
Yeah, Stick, where are we going in 2026 and beyond? Like, you've seen some development. You've seen us come 600 subscribers away from 100,000. Do you have a vision you're able to share with the fans, or just what you want to see moving forward?
In a month, I think I'll be able to have some more clarity on that and be able to share some bigger picture stuff. But in the meantime, it's just continuing what we're doing, man. Hitting the pavement, coming up with shows like this. Like, I know you guys threw this together last minute without too much instruction, but like that's what Woodward is, right? Nobody's gonna tell you can't do something. So if you guys come up with a fucking sweet idea, like a New Year's Day show that you want to bring in all the talent and kind of do a kumbaya and talk about sports, like, that's what we're going to be. We're going to be a lot more fast when it comes to launching shows, and more efficient on the shows that we launch, sticking with them longer and making sure that we really hammer home consistent content in 2026.
I love it. I love it, man. Hey, we're getting ready to wrap up. Anything else you want to say?
Just kind of looking back on the year, like I was listening to everybody else talk, and obviously there's tons of things that stand out. But I think like one of the stories that'll stick with me for the rest of my life from this year is the ultimate crash out from Sharon Moore. I mean, it's just absolutely unreal. And you saw it weeks later, like what was that? The Ohio coach got fired for, screwing his assistant. But you know what he didn't do? Grab a butter knife and roll over to the chick's apartment. That's where it Like, screwing your assistant is, it's a tale of old as time, as far as I'm concerned. The secondary crash out, it was like, oh my God. Like, this dude went from having access to a PJ and $5 million salary to a mugshot.
Yeah, it went from all of us saying, you know what, this guy, he'll pick himself up one day. They return from this to, oh boy, what did he just do? Like 100%. You talk about the guy who beat Ohio State, a part of the national championship team, handpicked by Harbaugh. That's a crash out of the century.
Never imagined that Michigan would have a more controversial head coach departure than what we saw in East Lansing with Mel Tucker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
now I got nothing to say.
How did you top that?
You can't.
I mean, no pun intended. No pun intended. How'd you top that?
Mel Tucker's mild, man. What? Mel Tucker was having a grown-ass conversation with another grown-ass woman. Like,
right? That's a mild hot sauce at Taco Bell.
It's completely different than giving your side chick a $50,000 raise on the Michigan books and then allegedly having Uber bring Plan B to people's houses and stuff. Like, what?
DoorDash dude was like, hey, man, this is crazy. He said, I know this house is a stick. Like, I'm like, bro, Bill Belichick, he just laid the whole plan out for you. All you had to do if you passing out that much cash is go hire your own assistant. Bring them to the school with you, bro. Go get you a 23-year-old assistant and bring them with you. That whole mess, dog, it was just like, this is amateur hour, and for a big program like that. I think Stick is right, man. I've been wanting to think, like, do we just put that negative story of the year, or is it actual villain of the year? That story from top to bottom is wild.
It could be all of it. Story of the year.
It's the greatest story of all year. And like I said, the first part is the first part. If he just would have been messing around with his assistant and they fire him, that happens. But, man, the crash out afterwards. What? Way to go for it, Sharon Moore. Like, way to go for it.
James in the chat said that Tucker is anti-butter knives. Respect.
It's a nice, good old butter knife. James also in the chat, stick a super chat from James Ref, $5, man. Thank you. Said stick in Trump voice. Have a great new year. The best new year. It'll be the greatest year. Stick. The dude's got experience, but he knows how to get the people talking. You're a fixture in the top 15 posts of Detroit, of Woodward Sports this past year. Man, I learned a lot from you, dude. You have fair game to talk about anything more you want. We'll stay as long as you want to talk. If there's anything you saw in 2025 or look forward to in 2026 among our teams.
Yeah. And crown the hero of 2025. We'll have him do that.
Okay. Jared Goff.
Hero of 2025. I mean, is it JB Bickerstaff?
Oh. Oh.
Could be.
That's a
Do you go higher, Trajan Langdon, or is it JB?
Me and Neil kind of went back and forth on this yesterday's show. I think this is like Trajan hired him, but JB is the one who brings the defensive mindset.
Yep.
Not many coaches can bring that, and you see it on a day-to-day, to be the guy that's touching the actual players' paws. But he's the one that's getting their mindset right. He's the one that's getting them to put in the defensive effort. He's the one that's actually making them feel like a part of a team, feel like a part of a structure. Like, you guys see it. Management and leadership means so much, especially when it's boots on the ground. And that's where I'll tip my cap to JB Bickerstaff, taking a team that lost, 20 some odd games in a row last year to number one in the East this year.
Yeah.
Who's competing?
I think he's cooking there. JB Bickerstaff from the first press conference and talking to him. Rod Beard was there, and I pulled him aside. I was like, bro, Rod. He was like, hold on, let me tell you something. This JB Bickerstaff, man, he's a coach. I'm like, I'm about to tell you that. I was ready, like, hey, coach, man, you got another practice uni? I'm ready to start
Put me in.
Camp. Like, put me in,
Coach would have put me in fourth quarter. We would have taken
That's
States.
A good one, because I think a lot of people's minds instantly go to Cade Cunningham. Because a lot of people are happy to see him finally rise to what the expectation was, the number one overall pick. But JB Bickerstaff, after some of these guys have had, 3 coaches now?
Mm-hmm.
JB Bickerstaff is one who's getting it right.
Cade's a stud regardless, but you think the success we talk about with Ron Holland, Asar, Jalen Duren, Duncan Robinson coming in, Danis Jenkins, Paul Reed, Beef Stew, like, it's the roster, and that goes
and we're
head
seeing
coach.
Great development out of the young players. So just another kind of feather in Stick's cap as it relates to JB Bickerstaff. What do we keep talking about with all of these coaches? Are they going to develop the players that are on their roster? That is a coach thing more so than it is a GM thing.
Yeah.
And so when you see Jalen Duren actually take the step to command now, and no one's laughing now. No one's laughing at, he going to get the bag now.
Yeah.
Before the season, people were like, bro, let's show me something. People are like, oh, crap, we should have paid him when it could have been cheaper. To see even a guy like Dennis Jenkins, to see the love that a guy like Marcus Sasser gets, to see how players like Devontae Green, these others are playing alongside this roster, I do believe in an offseason of pivot where you had to bring in all new vets, and this team is still humming along. I think Stick might be onto something with JB Bickerstaff being that hero of the year.
Yeah. Stick, Sideless5339 with a $5 super chat said, when I won that drawing and came in last year, it was Stick who greeted me, and you could feel the authenticity. Nobody treats the fans like WSN.
Shout out to Broder.
That's as good of a sign off, a sound bite as you could get. Stick, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just like Tupac, I ain't shit without my homeboys. We ain't shit without our listeners and viewers and people that support us. Like, that's one of my coolest things I like to do when people ask about Woodward Sports is go click on our oldest videos, and they got like 40 views, and it's me on a couch or Josh Baker doing his quick hits. And, without the people supporting us, I get Facebook notifications all the time reminding me 5 years ago, it's me on there. Hey, guys, I need 100 people to like Woodward Sports on YouTube so we can secure the name. And now it's 100K followers. Give me that fucking plaque.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And that's the energy we've all had with this thing.
If there's anything you know about Stick, he has ambitions as a rider, and he's down to make changes even when all eyes are on me,
I see what you did there,
he's bringing Tupac into it. Stick, this was a fantastic year. I'm grateful for you and everything you did for me. I hope we have an even better 2026 with 100K coming in soon.
Damn right. And my dream, all of our kids hanging out and us going to a sporting event together. So let's get it done, fellas.
Wow.
Let's go. Wait, so all of us February babies then, right?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
My last kid's February, Stick's last kid. And all of them are on the same, weekend.
And Braylon.
What are we doing here? And Braylon. Yeah.
It's great.
Shut up.
Anson Wells, $2 super chat. So much love for our fearless leader, Stick. Stick, thank you. Have a great rest of your New Year's Day with the family. Tell the girls we say hello. And we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you, bro.
Salute our fearless leader.
Justin, Kool-Aid, chat. We're near the end.
We're near the end.
But it's just the beginning.
On the first day, yeah, on the beginning.
I like doing this. It's like we're reviewing last year, but everything's in front of us. I don't know. I don't have anything prepared, but you want to go like a hot prediction, hot take?
Anson said, $2 super chat. So much love for our fearless leader, Stick. I had to do that because he just yelled at us.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Chat.
Dude, I think we might end the show with Greg Rounds. You see that pop up?
That's it.
It's pretty good.
That's it.
Yeah. One thing you're looking forward to in 2026 with the sports teams.
2026.
Please go Pistons. I want to hear Pistons out of you.
I was going to say it's the Pistons for me. You talk about a team who I believe is built for this. And a team who I believe has the GM to actually take advantage of making sure the team can improve rather than digress at the trade deadline. So I'm looking forward to the Detroit Pistons coming through on the number one expectations. I've been bullish on that all season. I've been bullish on it, especially after they took the number one seed and continued to defend it, won some big games, one of the best records in the league against teams above 500. It is the Detroit Pistons, and they're doing it with the recipe that we've always seen our Detroit Pistons teams win with, defense. Number 2 team in defensive rating, because OKC is just playing off the charts right now. But you see the gap between number 2 and number 3, and you're like, you know what? The Pistons are handling business. And it's not just that. Give my man Beef Stew some love, too. One of your best, if not the best, defensive perimeter and paint and rim protector in all of the NBA. But how infectious is it? This entire team. There was a time where when Ron Holland entered the game, you could see a change in energy. Now you see all of those guys from one to the end of the bench trying to bring that. And so when you get a Pistons team that's going out there, they are a true brotherhood like WSN. They are scrapping, they are scraping, they're diving on the floor, they're playing defense, they're being physical, they're barking at everybody, they're not respecting anybody. They're going out there and saying, y'all got to make sure y'all know who we are. That's what I love about this Pistons team. So it's not just the hype, it's not just the potential, but it's them finally having come through and actualized it. Like, think about it. We could all be excited about Cade in the past. Even though the Pistons weren't winning, we're like, well, at least we see we got a guy. No, now we see we have a team. And that, to me, is something that Piston fans deserve. 15 years of kind of just aimless, wandering Pistons basketball has now been distilled down to what I believe is going to be a pretty nice run over the next 4 to 5 years for this team.
Yeah, the Lions still need things to go right, but the Pistons are making things happen right now. You brought up Beef Stew. Shout out to your boy, Troy Weaver, for signing him early. I thought that was a crazy extension. Turned out to be okay. Justin, one thing you're looking forward to in 2026?
Some Red Wings playoff games.
Oh, please.
Keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Red Wings playoff games. I want to see the Tigers finally arrive. And I know they've been in the playoffs the last 2 years, but I want them to feel like something real, man.
Yep.
Not for a full season. Like I don't know what I don't know what's going on. I don't know what they're gonna do with Skubal. They keep signing these like second basemen and third basemen, but don't want to block the kids. Like, I need them to arrive in a real way. It's time. This division is such trash. You got to do it, man. You got to do it, Chris. You got to do it, Scott. And, man, I love me some Skubal. Sign that, man.
I love it because the passion. Obviously, you play baseball, he plays hockey, I play basketball, but we all love all of our sports teams. But I can feel it. You wanted to see these Detroit Tigers actually come through. They were right there, man. Hey, I remember how baseball was talking about them. National media was saying all first half of that season, actually, we think these Tigers are for real.
Yeah.
They're beating all of the good teams. They're rolling the bad teams, and they look like a complete team. Hopefully, they can look like that for the entire season next year.
That's what we're hoping for. 2025, man, it was the year Detroit sports, to me, stopped being adorable. We're on the scene now. The Lions learned the expectations don't block defensive linemen. The Tigers proved pitching buys you time, not forgiveness. The Red Wings reminded us what meaningful games feel like. And the Pistons, they didn't just rebuild. They recalibrated everyone's expectations. So we waited years for competence. Now I think Lions fans, and me included, were demanding some dominance here in 2026 and beyond. I don't think we lost belief here in 2025, Kool-Aid. I think we lost patience, which is fine. It might be the best thing that's happened here in a long time. Let's go do it here in 2026. Both our teams and our local network here at Woodward Sports. Final super chat to take us home. Greg Rounds, $1.99. Thank you, Greg. He says, new year, new me, but still booing them kids.
I think that is the perfect one. The perfect one.
The perfect one.
Keep that edge, Detroit Lions fans. It's been a little tough seeing less of the unity on Lions, socials and such, and more people saying, I knew we should have did this. I knew we should have did that. I believe we're going to be right back at them in 2026 with those Detroit Lions.
Yeah, Xavier DT, this is just the beginning. LFG Detroit. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today, January 1st, 2026. Please, if you could, hit the like button on the way out. Hit that subscribe button. We're 600 away from 100,000. We're going to hit that here in the next month. I can feel it. I can feel it. Thank you, everyone who joined us. You're spending time with your family and everything today. You took a few minutes to watch us. I'm grateful.
Yeah, man, just, we didn't shout out Brendan Bomber.
We talked about him earlier, but we could shout out everybody.
I just want to say, if there was a rookie of the year, I think Brendan Bomber is that guy. He hit the ground running. He's a guy who came in and I thought he brought some stability to the sponsors. And you know what? It seems like a lot of them like us.
Yeah.
I like what he's doing because Brady was some big shoes to fill. But Bomber, I
took
really
over
like what he's brought to the table. And just a genuine human.
All right, let's keep going. Nick Koloff, his first year as Detroit Lions beat reporter, I thought did sensational, by the way.
Shout out.
He did things in Tigers and baseball media we haven't seen yet. He does it with the energy. His energy every day is off the charts. Love that, man.
Because you know what? We're starting things up with our Pistons stuff. Obviously, a lot of home games in January. And no more, like, late games. So we're going to be bringing you a lot of content. And one guy who's really stepped up, Chris Platty, with the Pistons coverage.
Legend.
I'm happy for him. And shout out to Jeff and Brendan and everybody else who's been involved. Like, I know there's other people. I just want to make sure we shout out everybody before we close out the stream.
You guys doing a Pistons stream tonight?
Yes. post game right after the
same
right
with the
after
Wings.
game.
So stay tapped in. We got 2 more pieces of content for you tonight: Wings and Pistons post game shows. Woo!
Denver Blair will be at LCA tonight, section 105 Kool-Aid. James Ref is a father of 2. Always boot him, kids. Crazy Clown. Happy New Year, everybody. Freddie Felt appreciates y'all. James Ref, I'm tired, boss.
Denver Blair, I might be in 104 tonight in the media section. So if you see me, you see the hat, you see the little laptop, man, say what up, dog. We'll get some content in for sure.
Happy New Year, everyone. Back at it tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. with Sean Baligian. Maz, I believe, is in next week. We got Sean Baligian in the morning. Big D Energy at 11. Braylon Edwards show with Shep at 2. And the heavyweights at 5.
Hold on. Stig wants to say another thing real quick.
Let's get him on.
Hey, sorry. Oh,
no. Come on, baby.
It wouldn't be an appearance without saying one of the things I learned this year in 2025 is Jared Goff does not need everything perfect to be an elite quarterback. He had a shitty offensive line under a crazy pressure rate, 24%, and still put up elite numbers. So I just wanted to throw that in there. And also, shout out Anson. Appreciate you, buddy. I didn't give him a shout out, so want to make sure I showed love to him.
Shout out to Anson. You know what? You got to give the Jared Goff thing. I think that's a good way to start off 2026. You want all of the good moments for Goff, but Anson Wells. That's a person who you talk about. A lot of people behind the scenes running around and doing things. He's stepped up in some big moments and in some needed moments, and has provided stability. He's provided leadership, clarity, brotherhood, energy. And you know what? Bringing in a love for even like things like the card collectibles and such. Like Anton has been a whole lot this year, man.
Oh my gosh!
Miss you, Flannel.
Oh man, I got Flannel too.
Was that 2025?
Yeah, that was this year. Yeah.
Someone was asking for it in the chat earlier. I'm glad you played that. Yeah. And everything you said, ditto.
Yeah.
I love me some Anton.
Man. I just wanted to be able to say shout out to him. But do we got some clips?
No, I don't know. That was just in Spenny's archives.
Yeah. That'll do it for us. We've been here for 3.5 hours. We're calling it a day. I got to go see my family. Kool-Aid, always a pleasure doing with you. Justin, always a freaking pleasure doing it with you.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for
shout out to that dude.
You got a tough job today. We appreciate everything, man.
Yeah, no problem. I got you guys.
Chat, have a wonderful 2026. We'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow.